Welcome to FightZone. We are here in the city of Hull, which is not majorly recognised for some good fighters, and it's underrated, but fighters such as Tommy Coyle, Curtis Woodhouse and the new mayor of the city, Luke Campbell, has come out of this such reviving city. Tonight we have a stacked card for you, the fight card of Harvey Lambert v Peter Brodsky to go on the top of the bill. Let's see what's happening. Welcome to FightZone. I am here with Harry Booth, who's on behalf of Humber Boxing Network, one of the organisers on behalf of Dennis Hobson. Tonight, Harry, we've got like a a five-fight card, and basically, what is the whole philosophy of you getting this show going and bringing, boxing to this, city, basically?
Yeah, so obviously you've got your York Hall, you've got your Sheffield, you've got these boxing hubs across the UK. British boxing's the best in the world, it's booming. Hull, if you look at Hull's history, it's a massive boxing city, and we've not had, but despite that, the people who've come through, we've got Luke Campbell, Olympic gold medalist, Tommy Coyle in recent times, Samir Menemne, and there's Curtis Woodhouse as well. We've had tons of tough guys come through, talented guys, but believe it or not, we haven't had a professional boxing show in the last 2 years, and considering it's a boxing city, it just can't carry on. So while other promoters are turning their backs on the city, you've got FightZone, you've got Dennis in association with ourselves, Humber Boxing Network and Soft Mix. We're saying no, while people are going away, we're going to put our foot down here and we're going to really build something in this region.
And going on to that, how important is it to give, tonight we've got 5 fights. How important is it to get these kids out and give opportunities such as what's happening tonight? Yeah,
that's the thing. The thing is, boxing fans are absolutely brilliant. They're some of the best fans in the world. You've got Eubank and Ben packed out 80,000, 90,000 I think at Tottenham. That's great. That's all well and good. But there was already stars. It's the people now. It's really tough at the small hall scene, and the investment, the lack of investment, the nurturing that's needed. We need events like these. We need people to vote with their feet and turn up and support these people, these fighters, to give them the best opportunity. It's okay, well and good, backing them when they were a star, but how do they get to that point? And that's what we're looking to do in this area.
And obviously this card you put together, Harry, which fight are you looking most to if you had to pick one?
Well, it's a tough one to be honest, but I've got to go with the headline. Harvey Lambert versus Peter Brodsky. Harvey, it was a target from the off for FightZone and ourselves. Harvey, extremely talented boxer, 4-0, but already in that too big of a risk club. People won't fight him. Our first initial goal was to get him to fight in his hometown. He's from Hull kid, never fought in his home city. That's wrong in my eyes. Our first goal was to get him here, top in the bill. And I think you've got Peter Brodsky. He's coming from Czech Republic. He's got a great knockout rate. Harvey, more of a technical boxer. I think he's got to stay away the first couple of rounds, and then the longer he's in the game, Harvey will hopefully pick him apart.
And we've got obviously being like a sub-main event, or Sharon, and it's her debut tonight. What are we looking from her tonight?
Well, it is a history-making night tonight. Sharon is the first professional British-born Sikh female boxer ever. Yeah. So this show tonight, homecoming card, 10th of May, Doubletree. It's it's history making. She's well backed by the Sikh community. They're all going to be here today. She said to me she's got one sick jab there with her words, and she's ready. She's ready to pop shot. Make moves. The thing is though, if it gets tough, if Amy Greatorex, brings it on her, she can get into a war. She said. So I'm looking forward to see how she copes with it today, especially dealing with the nerves of your debut, etc.
Okay, and what going forward after this has been a success, and this looks great what you've put on, Harry. in the ideal world, how many shows would you like to put on a year in Hull?
Yeah, well, you think you're a professional boxer, you can't fight once a year, you know, once every 3 years, which has been the case here.
Yeah.
We want a regular presence in Hull and the region, you know, there's been talks of Bridlington, Gould, south of the river, Grimsby, Scunthorpe. We're not just here for Hull, we're here for the full region, and we want a regular fighting fixture, almost like Dennis described it earlier as a fixture list. That's what we want for our region, basically.
Right. Here I'm with FightZone and Fight Academy CEO Dennis Hobson. Dennis, I just want to get your concepts on why is it important to come to a city like Hull, similar to Sheffield, and why is it important to put a show on like this, you know, in small halls?
Well, it's where the bread and butter is. It's where, you know, we've got like a pyramid system in boxing, and this is where the champions are born. Places like this, Hull, Sheffield. I'm from Sheffield, obviously, and we've had numerous champions. But it just so happens I love the sayings, you know. I love the sayings. No man is an island. Yeah, I've done some big stuff. I've had world champion after world champion, and world champions who aren't supposed to end up world champions. So you could say I'm the Brian Clough of boxing. But places like this, which for me, Hull is untapped, and you've got 2 new kids on the block, Steve Ashton, and you've got obviously Harry Booth, who's the son of the great Tony Boothie, who's a dear friend of mine, and they're very switched on kids. So I'm really looking forward to the journey with them, and I can make you a promise, while they stay in the game with me, we will produce champions.
Okay. And just going on from that, why is it important to give, like tonight we have a fight cup, what does it mean to like giving opportunities to these kids, you know, who are on tonight?
Well, you know, they're obviously local kids, and they're having to go away and fight in other cities, other towns. So before they quite sometimes developed, they get thrown into 50-50 or 60-40 type fights against them. So why not develop these kids like I've done in Sheffield time after time? And when you're ready to go for the bigger fights, for the title fights, you haven't took the confidence, you haven't took the spirit out of the kids, because they've gone on the road and you find somebody else's backyard. Well, they're in their own backyard here, and you watch how we develop kids. I promise you we will develop champion after champion, and what a journey it's going to be. We've got Luke Campbell, who's the new mayor, the Olympian. So with him behind us as our new patron, and with the team that we've got behind it, including yourself and all the FightZone team, Steve Crump, we're going to have a great journey, and this is going to be a hub for us, I promise you.
And just going on for that is, you know, are we looking to do more shows, regular shows, 2, 3? Is it, you know, instead of being once a year, we're going to try to do regular shows on this?
I think fighters, what they'll tell you, and experienced fighters will tell you that the biggest hit maybe is inactivity. And what we want to try and create is, like in boxing, you don't get like a fixture list. Well, if we can have a fixture list of 4 or 5 fights at least in Hull, then the kids know they're going to get 4 or 5 fights every year in their hometown, and they can develop and build the support up. So support, as we know, we need ticket sellers, which helps you make the fights viable. But we've got quite a bit of support here, and Harry and Steve have done a great job with the sponsorship. So we've already got a bit of support, and with people like Luke and local businesses, we're going to just go from strength to strength here.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, good luck with everything, Dennis. Thank you. FightZone, where we're putting the big back in small hall boxing. I'm hosting Max Jenkins, joined by former British flyweight, I hope I got that right, Tommy Frank, super Tommy Frank, let me say. How are we doing, young man?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me on, Max.
So our first battle this evening, we've got Shane Smith v Dillian Trevor. They like to call him Tricky Trev. He's looking to go to 2-0. We've got second bout, Paul Roberts v Stephen Jackson. Then going into our third bout, we have Liam McMillan v Jake Osgood. Then we have a debut of Sharon Dhesi v Amy Greatorex, and we have our last main event, Harvey Lambert v Peter Brodsky. Tommy, you've been on many nights like this. small hall boxing. This is where you made your name. This is how you got mapped to the British title, which you did very well. I mean, how important is small hall boxing for you?
Yeah, it's very important, Max. I mean, you've got to remember this is the bread and butter of boxing. So before you hit them bright lights and boxing on TV, you've got to go through the small hall scene. Obviously, unless you get signed straight away with a big promoter. But I boxed on many of these. I actually boxed. I think it was my 6th pro fight. I boxed in the Doubletree Hilton back in Sheffield, and that was the fight just before I boxed for my first title, my Central Area title. So these nights they're brilliant, and it's great for the supporters and the crowd to come out. So you've got a really good atmosphere in here tonight. I love this venue. It's really good. Yeah,
it's nice, isn't it?
It's lovely.
Yeah. Do you miss it?
I miss it. I mean, boxing's always going to be a big part of my life. Do I miss being punched in the face? No, I must admit I don't.
Putting your feet up, what are the different things? What don't you miss?
Oh, I 100% do not miss the diet whatsoever. I can eat what I want now. I'm not saying I do, but I can eat what I want. I've got a bit more freedom with that sort of stuff. And just being, just sat here with you on a night like this, just enjoying boxing, not being nervous, not being in there, not being getting punched, So it's it's nice on the outside of the ropes as well.
Yeah. Don't miss your road runs. Don't miss your, other bits. No.
No. I mean, I used to be up at 4 a.m. when I was training for my British title fight. 4 a.m. I were out on that road. I sleep in a little bit now, not too much, but I have a little bit of a lying.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess that's every fighter's nightmare. Especially when it's on like the winter mornings. The nights drawing like early, and then the late drawing out in the morning. I guess it's a fighter's nightmare in some ways.
It is, but it's a necessary evil, and that is everything that the people here. That's what they don't see. So they're coming here tonight. They'll have a few drinks. They're supporting their guys, and this is the show at the end of it. But all the hard work, all them early morning runs and sprints, the dieting, the sparring, that's what people don't see. But that's what wins your fights, and that's what gets you far in this sport.
I hear a whisper. I had a little whisper that they're doing. You're coaching a little bit.
I am coaching. Yeah, so I'm coaching boxing, fitness. I've got both my amateur and my professional coaches licenses as well.
So. Brilliant. So would you like take someone on a journey? Would you do that path and consider that path doing that with a fighter?
Yeah, 100%. I think that'd probably be a little bit further down the road for me. At the minute, we've got a 14-month-old little girl, so I'm enjoying time, being a dad right now, and I'm coaching boxing, fitness, which I love. I'm helping people with their health and fitness all through the sport that I love. Yeah. So I think that'd probably be a little bit further down the road, Max. But I'm going to be involved in boxing for the rest of my life. I am.
Just going on to the card, we've got this first fight, Shane Smith v Dillian Trevor. You've seen a lot of him in the gym. What do you make of him?
Dylan Trevor, he's one of John Fuchs's lads, and I must admit, and I mean everyone knows I'm a good friend of John's, but I'm not just blowing smoke. He's got a fantastic stable of fighters down there in Sheffield. I love the way John coaches. I was very fortunate. I went down there the week before last. I actually did a little session. It was the first boxing session I'd done in a while, Max, and I was blowing a little bit, I must admit. But just mixing it with some amateur lads. Dylan were there as well, and he's a fantastic coach, John. Very, very knowledgeable, an amazing, a brilliant boxer in his day as well. And that's all rubbing off now on his stable. And Dylan is another one coming through, along with Mason Dickinson, Mikey Harrison, all of them. And it's good to see. This is the future of boxing in Sheffield, in our region.
What makes John different from the others?
I just think, I mean, number one, you know, I mean, he's been there and done it as a fighter himself. You know, I mean, he's not telling any of his fighters to do anything that he hasn't had to do himself. And you know, he's very good at breaking things down and, you know, probably taking a bit of a different approach to coaching. And I think that's why he's having success. He covers all areas and he's very open-minded. He's not. He doesn't just do what he wants. He goes all the way around the board to get a big picture, and I think that's very important as a coach.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Tommy.
Corporate sponsors are JBA Calibration, Tiger Removals, LPE Links Plant and Equipment Hire, and LJ Sapphire Chalets. We have bout sponsors this evening of Yankee Land Diner, Mads, Body Boost Clinic, TBS, The Best Solution, and A to B Travel. Broadcast live on FightZone. Ladies and gentlemen, we present 5 contests of professional boxing sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Your area representatives, Mr. Alan Ulster and Mr. Ian Cragg. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to make some noise. It's time to start boxing. Introducing to the ring, give it up for Dylan Tricky Trevor. And ladies and gentlemen, introducing your red corner to the ring, give it up for Sugar Shane Smith. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the fight number 1, scheduled for 4 rounds of 3 minutes in the middleweight division. This bout is sponsored by Yankee Land Diner. The contest is sanctioned by the British Board of Control and the area representatives, Mr. Alan Ulster and Mr. Ian Cragg. Your timekeeper, Mr. Chris Hancock, and your referee at the bell, Mr. Mark Downing. So, ladies and gentlemen, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the orange and black, weighing in at 11 stone, 4 pound 2 ounce, and fighting out of Sheffield, England, with a professional record of 1 win from 1 contest. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Dylan Tricky Trevor. And ladies and gentlemen, across the ring, his opponent boxing out of the red corner, wearing the red and gold shorts, weighing in at 11 stone, 4 pound and 5 ounces, hailing from Tewkesbury, Gloucestershire, with a professional record of 2 wins, 12 losses and 1 draw. Give it up for Sugar Shane Smith.
You both know the rules. I want a good, clean fight. Listen to my instructions and make sure you protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves, back to your corners.
Right, so we've got Shane Smith v Tricky Trev. How do you think Trevor's going to approach this, Tommy?
I think he'll start off cautious. You know, the first thing I'd like to see, well, from any young fighter, is getting on them feints, and I think that's exactly what he's going to be doing. You know, showing him up and down. You know, he's very active with that lead hand there, as you can see. Just a little feeling out process. It's a good jab.
So looking at Dillian Trev to establish his jab against a very experienced Shane Smith. It's going to be tricky, actually. Sorry for the pun, Tommy, for Trev, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah. You know, his experience, you know, Smith, and obviously he's gonna feel out Dylan as well. You know, in this opening round. You know, see how Dylan is going to approach this fight, whether he's going to just stick it straight on him or he's going to have a bit more of a cautious approach. You know, but you know, he's a very experienced journeyman. You know, Shane.
I mean, you've seen Trev in the gym. What? You know, do you think he should stop Shane, you know, at its current stage, or are you happy for him to get the rounds? What would you prefer if you're John?
Do you know what? Especially like on these shows, these small long shows, I think it's very, very important to get your rounds in. I mean, it's not going to be too long before you're stepping up the levels, you're boxing for area titles. They're obviously your 10-round championship contest. So these fights here, they're so valuable just to get some experience. It's all right, you know, getting guys out of there in the first round, but you're going to struggle getting opponents. You know, I mean, getting opponents can be hard anyway. So I think when you're blasting guys out, you know, that's where you do struggle getting opponents. So I do like to see prospects. Obviously, you know, if they're putting it on and they're having success, you know, practice, you know, putting your foot down and getting the guys out.
Sure.
But it's good to get experience. It is.
Yeah, it's quite a interesting contest. They're both looking to set centre of the ring, and then Dylan Trev, nice piston jab.
Yeah.
Again, he just steps in. He's got a nice jab where he has, and it's where he just pivots off then.
And to be honest with him, I like to see him stick out his jab a little bit more, probably just get behind his boxing a little bit more, because he is having success with that jab. I think sometimes it can kind of fall in a little bit, and that's where he's going to get caught. But, you know, just get behind that jab. You know, he's landing when he throws it.
Yeah, but he's in with, like, you know, these journeymen. They're not mugs. You know, they're there to survive and give you rounds. They've got an art to it, and people don't realise how good some of these journeymans are.
Absolutely. If to be a good journeyman, you are a good fighter, and believe it, these guys can turn it on when they want to.
Yeah. Just last 10 seconds, and nice right hand. I do feel, in his defence, I'd love to see him go downstairs a little bit. He's headhunting.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that's what John Fuchs will probably tell him now, Max. I think, you know, keep on your jab, keep doing what you're doing. I'd like to see him probably feint a little bit more, and then, like you said, touch down to that body as well.
Yeah. So we're just had the first round. I would say that was obviously, Tricky Trev's round.
I'd say so, yeah. I'd say so. Like I said, you know, he got behind that jab, and he was definitely scoring some points there. But, you know, I think he just needs to stay switched on. I think fights like this, they're just perfect to practice, basically. Practice what you've been doing in the gym. Practice what you've been doing in sparring. And, you know, that is what Dylan Trevor won't be wanting to do in this fight, without doubt. But, you know, no doubt, Fuchs is telling him to go down to the body a little bit, and I'd like to see him feint a little bit more.
Yeah. approaching round 2, and he just likes to take centre of the ring, doesn't he, Trev?
He does, and that's very good. You know, especially for young fighters coming up, you've got to learn your ring craft. That's called ring craft. You know, so he's taking little steps with his feet, he's cutting off the ring, he's staying in the centre, and that's what you learn, you know, week in, you know, day in, day out in the gym, Max, you know.
And I think Tricky Trev is just taking his time here, working out Shane Smith.
You see, he's doing the right thing. He's showing it into the body. You see, when he dips down, you know, he'll step in with that lead foot. He's just showing it into the body, and then you'll be yeah, there you go, that right hand straight over.
Oh, nice right hand again by Trev.
See, he's doing the right things now. You know, he's setting things up. He still needs to be cautious. You know, I'm sure Shane can dig a little bit as well. So he'll just have to keep his wits about him.
It's just catching him again there.
Yeah, he landed a good left hook there, Shane. He did.
And I think it's important with lots of new prospects like, you know, Trevor, Dylan Trev. He just gets. Just get the rounds, not to be too, because he's still nervous. It's only his second fight. Let's be honest about this.
Yeah, of course. And obviously, it takes you quite a while to settle down. You know, the first half of that first round, at least, you know, you're still nervous. You know, but once you've got that first round out of the way, you can really, you know, start settling down. And to be honest, that's exactly what he's done. He's come out a lot more relaxed. You see, he took there, he took some on his gloves, and then he fired straight back, and he caught Smith there. So that's good. That's good work from Trevor. That he's showing to the body again.
I'm just seeing a nice smile where Shane Smith just got caught by a right hand from Dylan, and then Shane Smith just smiled and said, "Come on, then, brilliant." Do you think, Tommy, you know, when you're boxing like this, this level, and you'll come through your second fight, do you remember it as vivid?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, for my second fight, I fought quite a live opponent. He weren't actually a journeyman. I think he were maybe. I think he'd maybe had two won one, lost one. You know, so it were a bit of a 50-50 on paper. But fighting these journeymen, like Smith it's so valuable to get your experience. Practice what you're working on in the gym.
The fundamentals.
Yeah, 100%. And that's exactly what Trevor's doing here.
And referee just briefly told him off a second ago for this leaning in with the head. Nice body shot by Trev.
Yeah. He's targeting that body, which is what you said he should have done, Max, and that's exactly what he's done this round.
Last 10 seconds, see if Trev can get some more. Oh, nice right hand. Good combo there by Dylan. And a nice exchange. But, he's establishing himself well there, Tommy, isn't he?
He is, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, he was doing all the right things. Again, feinting a little bit more. So, for the viewers at home, when I say feinting, I just mean kind of moving your body, moving your hands, basically, keeping the other guy guessing, keeping the other guy on his toes, so he has no idea what's coming. And like I said, I think he was setting up that overhand right to the head. Then he was going down to the body, showing that lead hand to the body, and then coming over with that right hand. And he caught Smith a few times that round with that exact shot. There you go.
Yeah, for my liking, I know this is just prospects, because they're just nervous, the variation. You're building a toolbox. That's what John's doing with it. I'd love to see him just be a little bit, but not hit everything with force, maybe just be a bit cuter, maybe touch up top, then go downstairs. Be a little bit more cuter.
Definitely, I know what you mean with that, Max. It's good to practice your rhythm as well. So, I know Dennis used to say it to me a lot, pick your moments. Pin your moments, so you're boxing, then all of a sudden you turn it on, you go back to your boxing. There's a nice flow to your work then.
Nice jab by Dylan again. A bit of nip and tuck by the pair. There we go, then there's the Dylan just establishing his jab and his authority.
To be honest with you, I think John will probably want Trevor to put it on Smith a little bit more now. You know, he is having success, and you know, it's kind of like you can see the energy bars in there. Do you know what I mean? One's coming down a little bit with Smith, and then Trevor's on the way up. So I think if he puts it on him a bit more, do you know what I mean? Gets a bit more forceful, he'll have some good success here in this round.
Yeah, and he just had another good right hand. I just see Shane Smith's left eye just grazing up a little bit, and he's hitting that with his right hand, Dylan Trev. And again, nice exchange.
You see, if I were Trevor now, I'd definitely go down to that body. I would definitely go down to that body. I think that's the key. You
so
know,
he drops his hands a little bit.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
No, it's just a whisker away all the time.
He is, yeah. I mean, you know, you've got to give it to Smith. He is evasive. You know, that's what journeymen are very good at. You know,
clever.
Very clever. You know, they'll fiddle the way through fights, and that's what Smith's trying to do here. You know, but as you know, as Trevor puts it on him a little bit more, ups that pace, that is going to get harder to do, Max. I think.
Yeah. I just like to see. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's working off the jab, and they're good fundamentals by Trevor. But, you know, how important is it, Tommy, to go through the gears?
Yeah, very important, you know, and I think as I went through my pro career, that's something that I understood. You know, there were certain fights where I didn't quite go through the gears, and ultimately, you know, that's what makes you a better fighter, you know, by sensing when to pick up the pace and actually doing it, and then that's when you start getting guys out of there.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, Max, I didn't do that much.
But no, look, you either are a knockout artist, or you can go for the gears and last out fights. So you're either one of the two.
That's right.
Last 10 seconds here, and Shane Smith's just staying away from Trev because he's been clipped a few times here. And again, a nice left hand, right hand. Nice round by Dylan again. Yeah,
do you know what? For his second pro fight, I'm actually very impressed with Trevor tonight. You know, I think he's boxing great, and you know, Shane Smith, he knows he's got a job on tonight.
Yeah.
You know, whether he's probably going to get him out of there in this next round, I don't think so. But you know, if this were a 6th rounder, I'd actually, you know, I'd actually favour Dylan putting the pressure on, going through them gears, and probably looking to get Smith out of there. Yeah. Whether that's going to happen in this 4th and final round, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I always like to look at the corners. You know, Shane Smith is blowing a little bit, more than usual, and
he's got them hands up behind his head, hasn't he?
Yeah, and then Dylan Trevor's just got a little bit of an attitude about him. He wants to go out and stop him.
Yeah, and do you know what? I like that. I think that's a brilliant thing to have as a young pro.
Yeah. Good body shot by Dylan Trev.
And as you can see with Dylan, his head is always moving. His head's always moving. He's constantly keeping the other guy guessing. And that's all the tricks of the trades from his trainer, John Fuchs. You know, Fireball Fuchs, who were a brilliant fighter. You just look in that corner now, you know what I mean? You've got Sam Sheedy in that corner, former Commonwealth middleweight champion. What a corner to have.
What not a bad corner, if you're honest.
Yeah, that's not a bad corner.
And Dylan just keeping centre of the ring. Dylan Trev. Nice uppercut, just nice little touch. I think Shane's just happy just to stay on the outside, I think.
Yeah. And
I don't blame him, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think Dylan can probably go through the gears in this round a little bit more, to be honest. He's doing all the right things. But, you know, when he lets them hands go, he is having success, and I think he's hurting Smith.
Yeah. Nice body shot by Trevor.
You see, that's what Trevor's corner's asking him to do as well, you know, to put the pressure on now. Still keep that head movement going. Still get on that jab. Put some pressure on now.
Nice. He's starting to unload a little bit, Trev, there.
That was a good body shot, yeah.
Starting to get close all the time. He's just edging closer.
And again, you know, going back to that ringcraft match, you know, that's what you're learning in the gym. You know, it's you're talking about millimeters here, you know, split seconds, and that's what that footwork does.
Oh,
that's
nice shot, nice double
that
shot.
should have been a knockdown, to be honest with you. I thought it looked to me like the ropes kept him up then.
Yeah, I thought he caught him quite well there.
If them ropes weren't there, he'd be on my lap. I
think. He would be on my lap, as well, yeah. Trev's looking to just unload and maybe get a stoppage here. He's got a minute, just under a minute left. Oh no, 30 seconds left.
You see, if I was Smith here, I'd just be tying him up in knots. I'd just be doing anything I could to get through this round. He's got like definitely. 40 seconds left, 45 seconds.
Yeah. So we're just approaching the round now.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, Matt. I just think you've got to give credit to Shane Smith. Do you know what I mean? These guys, these are the bread and butter of boxing, you know, and he's here to do a job tonight, do you know what I mean? And he's done that job. He's given him a test, and that's all you can ask for.
Right, we're just 10 seconds left, just about. Knocker's gone. I think Dylan's trying to get it. He's probably not going to get it, but nevertheless, a good performance. Let's see the official for MC. Craig.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for both boxers. So, ladies and gentlemen, fight one sponsored by a Yankee Land Diner. After 4 rounds of boxing, your referee scores the bout 40-36 in favor of your winner, Dylan Tricky Trevor!
So Dylan, well done on your performance. Yeah, now you go 2-0. How you feeling? And what was the key thing you wanted to do tonight?
I just wanted to show a bit more. The first fight, I was, just keeping a bit, trying to keep as classy as possible, not falling. Just wanted to show a little bit more, show I've got a bit of power, kind of showcase my skills a little bit. But
I mean, look, you did very well tonight. Against a very, very good journeyman.
Yeah.
Shane Smith is not a mug, and I mean, what do you think you could do further forward? What?
Stick to what I'm doing. Just stick listening to my corner, to Dennis. I mean, for my absolute love. Living. So I do everything I can.
I just want to bring in John Fuchs here. What key fundamentals you were getting across to Dylan, and what was you wanting to do with it?
Listen, I just wanted him to relax a little bit. Dylan's problem sometimes an amateur where he used to get a bit overexcited, a bit irky-jerky, where he's set out a little bit, right? But what I was really, really impressed with today, in Dylan's debut, I'll be honest, I was more like, right, let's get the win, let's get through it, let's not let him gas out. He used to gas out a little bit sometimes, this and that. Today, after that first round, I was like, I said to Graham and Sam, I says, I'm letting him go here, mate, right? And I was saying to him, like, listen, let's roll and let's go with him, let's do that. Honestly, I'm so happy with how he boxed, but not just that. It's not a coincidence. The way he's come on is all down to himself. The way he's changed his life, changed his attitude towards training, being a professional boxer, being a good human being. Like, he's always been a good human being, but like, now he just lives the life better than anybody. He works harder than anybody. Does a full-time job, gets up for work to prep his food at 5:30 in the morning, to set off for work at 7 a.m. He's then in the gym at 6. He don't leave the gym till 8, 9 o'clock at night, preps his food for the next day, and that is why he boxes as well as he did there. And I'd just like to say, you were saying, Max, Shane's no muppet whatsoever. He'll come and he'll turn people over, and the fact that I wanted to let Dylan off the leash a little bit, like somebody against Shane, it's made me so happy, and I thought he boxed brilliant.
Well, good luck, guys. Good luck for your future, and well done in your win. Well done, John.
Thank you.
Thank you. No worries. Cheers. Thank you. Cheers.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to bout number 2. Making his way to the blue corner. Give it up for Stephen Jackson. And ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the red corner, please give it up for Paul Roberts. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is fight number 2, scheduled for four rounds of 3 minutes in the featherweight division. Your sponsors for this bout are MADS. This contest is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control and your area representative, Mr. Alan Ulster and Mr. Ian Cragg. Your timekeeper, Mr. Chris Hancock, and your referee at the bell, Mr. Mark Downing. So, ladies and gentlemen, firstly, boxing out of the blue corner, we're in the black shorts, weighing 8 stone, 11 pounds and 2 ounces. Hailing from Lancashire, England, making his 62nd appearance in the ring. Give it up for Stephen Jackson. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent boxing out of the red corner. We're in the red, gold and black. He's the current Southern Area Fly and Super Flyweight Champion. Weighing in at 8 stone, 12 pounds, 7 ounces, hailing from Chard, Somerset, with a professional record of 6 wins, 2 by knockout, 6 losses and 2 draws. Give it up for Paul Roberts.
So we're here. Welcome back.
Listen to my instructions and make sure you protect yourself at all times.
Stephen
Jackson. Back to your corners.
Paul Roberts 6-6-1, and Stephen Jackson 1-59. You know, it's an interesting one, Tommy, because Paul, if he wins this, which he wants to do, he wants to go to the British and take on Harvey Horn.
Yeah, that's right, you know, and I think that fight is probably about 5 weeks away, so I bet Harvey Horn sat at home holding his breath watching this. You know what I mean? You know, just hoping that, you know, he don't get caught, you know, hopefully he don't do anything like that. But obviously he's taking this as a little workout, you know, getting himself out. But he's in with a very good operating Stephen Jackson. I actually know Jackson very well. I shared a ring with him as an amateur. Very, very capable fighter, and obviously he's doing very well on the road now, racking them fights up.
Yeah, Tommy, I mean, you obviously won the British at this weight, and you know what it means to win the British. Paul's got a nice jab in right hand by Paul then. Yeah. It's an interesting one because he's got a crack at the British again. What do you think what's the advantage he's going to have over Harvey Horn?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think Harvey's got the advantage in that fight. You know, just for me, is obviously he was a standout amateur. You know, he was on the Great Britain team, and he's been doing very well as a pro as well. You know, but to be honest, I think it won't be a good fight. At the minute, I'm probably giving the edge to Harvey, but I do think on the night it won't be an interesting fight. You know, I think it might be a little bit standoffish. And you know,
just like work each other out.
I think so. I think so. Yeah, I think that's how that fight will go. But you know, tonight, I mean, I'm not going to lie. You know, this fight is probably not what the viewers want to hear at home. But if I were Paul Roberts in this fight, I'd just want to breeze through this. You know, get through this fight. You know, win every round, have a bit of a workout, and not really get involved too much. I know that's not what you want to hear sat at home.
But you're thinking from a logical point of view.
That's just, you know, me. If I were in Roberts' position, if I'm boxing for a British title in 5 weeks, you know. But he's doing the right thing. You know, he's sharp. He's sharpening up. He looks sharp in there.
He looks sharp and Paul Roberts, he always keeps that lead hand like low, and it's almost inviting his opponent. I remember seeing him do that against Craig Derbyshire, trying to invite him in, and he sets a trap almost.
Do you know what? He's not got a too. He's got quite a similar style to Harvey Horn. I mean, I know obviously Harvey Horn's southpaw, but you know, he boxes a little bit like that. You know, he's quite rangy. Yeah. But you know, enough about that fight. You know, more about this fight. You know, he's got to stay switched on with Jackson here. If he gives Jackson anything, Stephen won't you know, dig his heels in and let these shots go in this fight.
Nice body shot by Roberts then, as he's just in and out, isn't he, Roberts? I think he's a classy sort of fighter, and his footwork is really good to watch.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Yeah, and you know, I watched a little bit of the fight with Craig Derbyshire as well.
That was a barnstormer, that.
Yeah, you know, and I think he had a very good start to that fight, Roberts. You know, boxing clever, but you know, as I know as well, you know, I've shared a ring twice with Craig Derbyshire. Very, very tough fighter, you know, and
he just keeps coming all night. Craig Derbyshire,
you know, he's one of the fittest guys probably in boxing. You know, the guy runs marathons for fun.
Oh, no.
You know, so
mad, isn't it?
Yeah, so you know, I think as the later rounds, you know, got there in that last fight. With Derbyshire, with Roberts, you know, Craig just picked up that pace and kind of ground him down and got to him. But yeah, he's a very, very good boxer, Roberts. You know, I like what I see from him.
Yeah, so Roberts obviously coming from down south. I think he's from you know, Plymouth area. He's second time the British, if he comes through this unscathed, and I'd like to think he does, because he has got some skill set to him. Approaching the second round, we'll see what he can do. Let's see if he puts on any pressure.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you've got to remember this is his first fight this year as well for Roberts.
Yes.
You know, since that points defeat to Derbyshire, so as well, obviously, and you can see why he wants to, you know, get rid of a bit of that ring rust. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, you know, he's had. Let's not. I mean, you look at Roberts, you think, oh, he's been round the block a little bit, and he's had some miles put on the clock. It doesn't show any sign of that. He doesn't. He seems to be very switched on, and it appears he can go through the gears. Yeah, definitely. And to be honest with you, I mean, it looks a lot better than his record would suggest. He's got a very even record. You know, 1-6, lost 6, drawn 2. You know, and you know, it looks like, you know, a very tidy boxer. He does.
Yeah, as he's establishing a little bit of the middle of the ring, Paul, as he's working out. Stephen Jackson trying to pull that jab out.
You see, if I were Roberts in this fight, I'd be trying to tee up that straight right hand to the body. You know, I'd be letting that lead hand go. You know, feeling that distance, and then letting that body shot go straight down. Land a good right hand there.
Just looking at Paul's, you know, stance, and he's just like how he's just sort of elusive, and he's just cruising, and that's what he does. Paul Roberts, he cruises unless he needs to get out of a gear or two.
Yeah, definitely. And again, you know, you're talking millimetres with your footwork. I mean, you can see his footwork. You know, he's just gliding around the ring, and then you see when he's in range, and then a split second later he's out of range, and that's again going back to ring craft. That's why it's so important, you know, for these young fighters to learn their ring craft.
Yeah. So he's just trying to get him into the corner, cut off the ring, and Paul Roberts is just he's not committing too much. He just commits a little bit and backs away, Paul. But I do think I'm inclined to agree with you, Tommy. I think he just wants the rounds, doesn't he?
I think so. You know, I mean, I don't think it were ever going to be a massive barnstormer, this fight.
No.
Because it is exactly what it is. You know, obviously, you know, Paul Roberts just wants to get rid of that bit of ring rust, because he's got a big night in around 5 weeks' time.
Yeah,
in
on a
Sheffield.
10-round. Yeah, he's going multiple rounds. It's not just a 4-rounder. It could be grueling, that.
Of course.
It's Paul Roberts, just Stephen Jackson, just happy to sit on the outside. 10 seconds, nice little combo by Roberts again and again, the double jab and moving off. Yeah, this is certainly a Roberts round again.
Yeah, you know, I think I think obviously Stevens, you know, he's taking some shots on his glove, but obviously some shots are getting through. I don't think they're hurting Stephen, but that's not the point. They're scoring shots, and you know, Roberts is picking up these rounds, you know, quite comfortably at the minute.
Yeah, I just always like to look at the corners, who's saying who, what they're saying. Just looking at Stephen Jackson's, trainer. He's just, I mean, look, he's like, let's not bear a bounds about his record. He just comes up to survive, get through the rounds, not be stopped, and just go home, sort of thing. However, you know, it's always a potential upset. Sometimes, Tommy, don't you ever think when you're fighting, you know, you get a journeyman and they got a record like Stephen, and you know they think, oh, actually, I don't want to get beaten up today. You know, I want to put a win on my record.
100%. Listen, you know, like I said, these journeymen, to be a good journeyman, you are a good fighter.
Yeah.
But that's just not how boxing works. You know, these guys, they can't sell tickets. They go on the road, they pick the money up, and they give the prospect a workout.
Yeah.
But on that night, if they fancy, they turn it on. They are good fighters. A lot of these journeymen, they have beaten British and Commonwealth champions. It just wasn't on that night for the title, but they have beaten them.
Yes.
Stephen Jackson is a very good fighter. You know, it's quite an experienced amateur. And believe me, you know, if Stephen starts landing a few shots here, you know, he might start fancying it.
Yeah. Paul Wright is just happy to sit on a nice 1-2 by Paul Roberts just then, where Stephen Jackson just moved off. Nice right hand by Jackson. He has to be wary, Roberts, that he doesn't get caught.
He does. He has to be wary all the time. I think if he throws that left hook a little bit more, you see, he's got quite a long reach, and I think he'll catch him with that left hook, Roberts.
Don't you find, obviously, Tom, you're a master. You were the master at this weight, and yeah, when you're British, you know.
I did all right, Tom. I won't say I was the master.
Well, I mean, you've done it better than a lot, you know. But don't you think you'd like to reserve your energy, and it's a game of chess at this weight? Yeah, you can't just, when you look on the heavyweights, like light heavy, even super middle upwards, it becomes where you can do like a shootout. At this weight, you have to be clever what your output is. Yeah,
you do, but you know, at the same time, you know, the lower weight guys, they're well known for going all night and having really good engines. And I must say that was probably my best asset was my engine. You know, I always trained hard, I was always fit, and I just seemed to kind of up the levels as the fight went on. When I started boxing for 10 round fights, 12 round fights, I was able to just keep going and up that pace. So I think that's why you get a lot of all action fights at the lower weights like these guys are.
Yeah. Paul Roberts, nice body shot.
Yeah, that were a good body shot. He's doing the right thing, Roberts, as well.
He's picking him. He's picking
him. As you can, if you just watch his red boots now, you know, he's just taking little steps to the left, little steps to right, and he's just cutting down that ring. That's exactly what he's doing now, and he's landing.
Yeah. Just approaching the last 30 or so seconds of the round. I just think Paul Roberts, I mean, in a different climate, because we have, you know, he could be a British champion. If you didn't have like your Harvey Horns and your Craig Derbyshires about, he could have been probably a British champion by now.
Who's that, Jackson?
No, Paul
Roberts. Yeah, 100%. You know, I think it's one of them weights, flyweights. You know, you've got to work your way up. I mean, but as a flyweight, it's not going to be too long before you find yourself in them sort of fights.
Yes,
and you know, you find yourself in them sort of fights like me with the likes of, you know, Jay Harris. You know,
Jay Harris, what a fighter he was, and you were received of that one, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, me and Jay Harris, we had a fantastic fight in Sheffield.
I saw that.
Yeah,
fantastic.
It was a really good fight. You know, I've got a lot of respect for Jay. Brilliant fighter. Fought for a world title. He fought Martinez for that WBC world title. He came up short. And you know, he's recently retired as well. So
yes, I know.
So all the best to Jay as well.
I mean, that night. He took you. Well, you both went to the well, I think.
We did. I mean, to be honest, if I'm completely honest, I mean, I think my days at flyweight were probably a good couple of years gone past due then. And to be honest, you know, I think just making that weight just drained me a little bit too much.
It's a hard weight to get to.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, what a fight we had.
So we're approaching this fourth round. I like to think Paul Roberts has got these last 3 rounds comprehensive free, and I just think he's just looking to coast out now. I mean, if he got a stoppage, I think they look good.
I think it would look good. I mean, I can't see that if I'm completely honest. And again, you know, I don't want to be negative, but again, if I were Roberts now, you know, I think he's boxed great, and I don't really think he needs to do much more in this fight. I think any more would probably risk him picking up a coat or, you know, cracking heads or whatever. You know, don't get me wrong, if the circumstances were different and he didn't have that British title fight in 5 weeks, he might go through the gears and you know, look to really put it on Jackson here.
Definitely.
But he's boxed well here, Roberts, he really has.
Yeah, he's good to watch, and I like to watch him as well. He's, do you know what? The one thing I'm not a fan of, and I've never been a fan of it, this like loose lead hand, but it works for certain fighters, don't they?
I think so. You know, I think you can leave it out there as a little bit of a level changer for you. And if anything, I mean, it keeps the other guy guessing. I mean, you know, what Roberts is doing now, like he's jabbing from his hip. You know, so it's not going straight out and back from his chin, he's jabbing from his hip, but that's very hard to see coming.
Yes, and definitely then he sort of just fainted with the jab and just took the right hand to Stephen Jackson.
I mean, to be honest with you, you know, to say that he hasn't boxed since last year, I think it's probably been perfect tonight, you know, for Roberts, probably exactly what he wanted, getting them rounds in. He's looked sharp as well.
Yeah.
He's not looked rusty, to be honest with you, he's looked very sharp.
Yes, and no, I'm impressed. You would thought sometimes the sort of, because of the longevity of this weight, it takes time for him to get going, but he hasn't had no sign of that, has he?
No, I think he's been quite comfortable, and to be honest, even in this last round, he's got a good
nice
selection.
Body shot then,
He's you know, he's really picking his shots well, and I think we spoke in the last fight, that rhythm of the fight. You know, so he's got a lovely rhythm. He's picking his moments, letting his shots go, and then he's back to moving.
Yeah, we're just approaching the last, I'd say, 35 seconds of this fight. And I just think, you know, Stephen Jackson just trying to tie Paul Roberts up, just to give himself a slight breather. Nice double jab by Roberts again. He's looking to cut off the ring, Roberts. Last 10 seconds now. Nice fight back by Jackson.
He's still throwing back, Stephen. He's not going to lay down. He's a very tough man. Good fight, that lad.
But I'd like to see. I think Paul Roberts have got that. But let's see the official by MC Craig, and let's pass it over to him.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for both boxers. So, ladies and gentlemen, bout number 2 is sponsored by Mads. After 4 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards where your referee scores the bout 40-36 in favour of your winner. Give it up for Paul Roberts. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to keep Paul in the ring, and we've got alongside us Mr. Dennis Hobson. So, ladies and gentlemen, Paul will be challenging for the British and Commonwealth flyweight titles in June, on June the 14th in Sheffield. And you're going to be fighting Harvey Horn for these titles, yeah?
That's right, yeah. Obviously, Dennis announced yesterday that Harvey was first in line for the thing, and luckily enough, I've got to get some rounds in tonight to make sure that I can go in and challenge him. Yeah.
So victorious in Sheffield on June 14th. Do you want to say something, Dennis?
Of course. What I want to say thank you everybody here for tonight's support. Our Harry here and Steve, they've done a fantastic job, and all our sponsors, thank you so much. And this is the first of many. So we've got Paul Roberts here, who fought in Beverley not so long ago and fought for the light flyweight Commonwealth title. Fell short by a minute points decision, but he stepped up again, and he's going to be fighting for the British and Commonwealth flyweight, and my man there, Super Tommy Frank's old title. So credit to Paul, he's come all the way from the south. Give him a round of applause and thank you again. Not a bad MC, me.
Ladies and gentlemen, massive round of applause for Paul, and give it up for Dennis Hobson. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to take a 15-minute interval. We're going to take a 15-minute interval. We will see you shortly.
I'm here with Paul Roberts. You scored a good, comprehensive win against Stephen Jackson. What was important to get across tonight? What was the most important thing for you tonight?
Well, you know, getting the 4 rounds in. Thanks to Dennis for that, for getting me up here. Obviously, it's a long way from home, but it just needed to be done. Get the rounds in, get the win, ready for June.
Yeah. So, you know, we just announced there you got the British title against Harvey Horn. You know, your second time at it, or was it your first time at it?
First time at the British, but second time
for the Commonwealth, yeah. So, I mean, you get to it, and a second time at it with the Commonwealth. What are you looking to try to do against Harvey Horn?
Well, Harvey Horn, he is a tricky operator. He's a southpaw as well. Luckily enough, I've faced southpaws before and beaten them. Yeah, I'm doing exactly what I do every time, and that's work hard in the gym, and just everyone knows that they always see a good, hard, tough version of Paul Roberts, and that's what I'm there to do every single time I get in that ring.
Well, well done on your win, and looking forward to seeing you in June, and yeah, let's hope you get the win. Well done.
Thank you very much.
I'm joined by Dennis Hobson, Fight Academy owner, along with Calum Scott. We've just seen Paul Roberts against a good operator, Stephen Jackson. You just announced a British title against Harvey Horn. How important is that, and how good will that be?
I think it's a quality fight. Paul's a quality operator, and it's for, I'll just correct you here, Max Gramble. It's for a British and Commonwealth flyweight title. You've got Super Tommy Franco you've been commentating with. Yeah. There is all titles. Yeah. So obviously prestigious titles, and it means a lot to these kids. He's come up from South to get that win on his belt, so he's eligible to fight for the British and Commonwealth. And what a great operator is. That fight is going to be stupendous. That's going to be fantastic. June the 14th, Skate Central, Sheffield.
And obviously the two bouts we've just seen obviously Paul Roberts winning, and we've just seen Dylan and Trevor came from Sheffield to get the win. The two bouts so far in your home city, Callum, how are you liking the show so far?
I'm loving it. I'm trying to concentrate whilst also listening to my own voice. I'm just having a great time. I thought Dylan fought amazingly. I'm looking forward to the three Hull fighters, I've got to say. Born and bred, so yeah, I'm looking forward to those fights.
Yeah. Just going back to Dylan, Trevor, and having that first bout, how important was it him to getting the fundamentals right, Dennis, in that fight? And because he seemed a bit nervous in his first fight, did you think?
Well, for me, when Jackson come out in the first round, I thought, oh, this could be a bit tricky. Tricky Trevor. It could be he were a live wire, but I can't believe the job that John Fuchs has done in such a short time. Yeah. That kid and his supporters, I've got to say, his mum and dad and all his supporters are fantastic. Dylan's going to win something. We're producing, but like Callum says, this is a hotbed. The talent here, you've got people like Calum Scott, we've got Luke Campbell who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. We're going to produce champions here. Sheffield and Hull, we're like twin cities. We're going to produce some champions, and guess what? When we have a world title, there's going to be the one and only Calum Scott doing his bit in the ring before we get the Hull's first world champion under the FightZone Fight Academy banner.
Yeah, I echo that, Dennis. But I'd like to echo again, kind of how important is it, like Dennis and Harry and the whole team are given the opportunity to these kids. How important is that, being a whole lad yourself?
So important. Like I say, it's about having opportunities up here. I know for me, in my moment, I was in Manchester, I had a moment on Britain's Got Talent, and I know that I might not be doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for that moment, but that wasn't in Hull. So what Dennis and what everybody else is doing is bringing those opportunities to Hull, for people in Hull and the talent in Hull to be seen and to be noticed by the rest of the world. And I think for us, these next three Hull fighters is what we're really excited about. Hull grown talent in our hometown, fighting in their own home territory. We're all excited, and I think we can bring more and more talent to Hull. Right, well, I'm going to stop badgering you, Callum, for the rest of the night. I'm going to let you enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Right, and
by the way, what a class act he is, and a credit to this city.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a pleasure to meet you, my friend. Pleasure.
Cheers, Callum. I just want to bring in Tommy Frank. Tommy Frank's just been co-commentating tonight with me. He's done a fantastic job. Tommy, you're an example of kids coming up through small hall boxing, winning the title that Paul Roberts is going for on June the 14th. How important is it for these small hall shows, what Dennis is doing, what Harry's doing and Steve, and bringing up, the talent? How important is that?
Yeah, I think, for me, I wasn't an outstanding amateur. And I think probably a few people were telling Dennis, he's a good kid, but he might not go too far.
Don't you dare say I overachieved. Don't you dare.
I'm not saying that, but all I'm saying is, I did it the hard way on these sort of shows, and I am the proof that you can win British, Commonwealth, all sorts of titles, by coming up through this way.
Yeah, and you're an example and a product of what Dennis has sort of helped and guided you. Obviously, you've done the hard work, but how important is it having someone like Dennis on side with you through the process?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously, I get in the ring and I have to perform on the night, But you know, Dennis always used to say to me, I do my job, you do your job. Do you know what I mean? So in the background, as you know, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of different avenues in boxing and a lot of politics and stuff, and it's up for the managers, for the promoters to guide you the right way. And it's only with the right guidance you get the fights, you get the opportunities, and that's exactly what this man did for me.
Okay, and one other thing before I let you go, Tommy. If you cast your mind back to your first, second fight on these sort of shows, what advice would you give a 2-0 Tommy Frank?
Just to probably enjoy the process. You know, there's a lot of these fighters like Dylan, he might be in the gym, although he had a fantastic performance, but a part of himself might be thinking, oh, but I should have got him out of there. No, enjoy the process. This is where you learn. That's going to come, and at the time I was the same. I were eager, I were probably overcritical on myself, but enjoy the process, get the rounds in, get your experience. The bright lights are in front of you, you know, don't wish it away.
Okay, so obviously I've heard you coaching now, Tommy. You're doing a bit with John Fuchs, you know, you're seeing lots of Dhesi and Trevor in the gym. Are you enjoying the retirement now?
I must say I am. I'm loving the other side of the ropes. I'm loving the other side of boxing. And to be honest, you know, like, you know, going back to John, you know, as a coach in his gym, it's a fantastic stable of fighters. I was very lucky to go down a couple of weeks ago. I actually did a session. It was my first boxing session in a while. I must say I was blowing a bit, Dennis. I must say, but I got the chance. I got the chance to, you know, do a little bit of training with the amateurs, doing some bag work drills, you know, different stuff. John Fuchs is a fantastic coach, and the fighters in his stable, that's the proof of that. So, like I said, we've got a really good crop of Sheffield talent coming through, and John Fuchs is the man who's ringing them out.
Brilliant. Well, I'll let you go, Tommy, and I'll let you're going to join me back on comms in next 5 minutes. Just one other question, Dennis, just before I let you go and enjoy your night. How is important is it if we can like get another one here or another two here? Is it important enough to do this?
Listen, my plan is it's all about the journey for me. Yeah, I've took from, you know, you took about Tommy. Clinton Woods, if you look back to Clinton Woods, he wasn't an household name, and he'd had a big layoff as an amateur, and similar sort of background to Tommy, and then look where we went to, and Tommy's made history, and his background, he's got a hole in his heart, born in a hole with a hole in his heart. What a success he is, this kid. He's a credit to the sport, credit to his family. He's an amazing human being, and he's going to pass that knowledge on. So here is another Sheffield. Hull is untapped. We're going to produce champions. I want to do 4 or 5 shows here. I want to do 4 or 5 in Sheffield, and then that's one a month. That's besides where we go up and down south or north from the central part of this country. So I love this area. Years ago I put Clinton Woods on here with a beautiful fella who helped me start promoting, a fella called Mick Truman. A lovely man. He gave me a chance and he educated me a little bit. I never forget him. He's not here with us anymore, bless him, but I never forget anybody who's helped me. So that enabled me to be able to manoeuvre kids like Tommy, and obviously Glenn Rhodes has helped him, but now we've got John Fuchs coming through, and we've got a conveyor belt of fighters. It's exciting times.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you gents enjoy your night. Thanks for joining me here on FightZone, and yeah, good luck to the future, Tommy. Thank you. Cheers. Well, to FightZone TV, my name's Max Jenkins. I'm here joined by Calum Scott. Calum, you know, being like part of Hull and being brought up in Hull, and you've seen all these kids getting opportunities tonight in Hull. How important is it for, you know, youngsters like this and them getting these opportunities?
It's massive. I mean, you know, Hull doesn't have the most opportunity in it, so for us to be able to bring the opportunities to Hull, and also having these Hull fighters fighting their hometown, it's a big deal for these fighters. I'm very excited to see what tonight brings them.
Yeah, and you know, current boxers at the minute? Who do you follow? Are you into your boxing, and who are you following at the minute? Who's your favourite?
Oh, mate, I would love to say that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to boxing, but I have no idea. I just sing. That's all I do. But it was important for me to be a sponsor for tonight's event. You know, it's one of my mates who's been working hard on this show, and he's bringing talent to the city. And just to put a spotlight on Hull again, as a whole, like you said, born and raised. Trying to make sure that I was contributing.
Yeah, and you know, and it's for like a working class city, because normally we're operating in, you know, like sort of Sheffield, and Hull has like not too much of a different identity, like you've been working class and that. How important, if we can keep doing these sort of shows, would it be for kids to come on shows and it be a regular thing? How important would that be?
Massively important. You're encouraging young people to aspire and to dream big. You know, and even from my industry, I think only the House Martins are the only musical act really that have come out of Hull. So it just shows young people that they can achieve within their own city. They don't have to be going over to London or to other cities. They can do it right here in their hometown.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoy the show tonight, and thanks for attending, being a sponsor, and yeah, thank you very much.
My
Cheers
pleasure.
again.
Thank you.
Here I'm joined by Steve Ashton, who's like the owner of Soft Mix Gym, who's a proudly association of the sponsor of this show. Steve, coming into the show, and it's your first show with Harry, how important is it to get, you know, kids on the card who haven't fought so long or haven't fought in a while, and get them on a card like this?
Oh, it's brilliant all round, just to get anybody in the local area that's into the boxing, that's staying in the gym, being fit, and wants to showcase the talents. It's the perfect platform, really.
Yeah. And Steve, going on to that, you know, we've got obviously Harvey Lambert topping the bill. Out of the 5 fights, which fight are you looking more interested in, or looking at, and which is really, you know, your focal point?
Well, the main event would be the obvious one, but what I would say is that you've got Sharon Dhesi as a support. They're all good fights right throughout the card. You even got Paul Roberts as well, and also Dylan Trevor, prospect from Sheffield. Good to have him to come into our city to come and showcase his talents on our show as well. And not forgetting Liam McMillan. They're all great fights right across the card. It'd be hard for me to pick one, but I'd say obviously the biggest prospect would be Harvey Lambert as such. And
do you think, you know, Harvey going into this fight, he's been inactive, let's not bear the bones about it. Do you think he could do a knockout? What sort of performance are you looking from him?
I think I know that he'll be thinking he wants to get a stoppage, a sensational victory, but obviously benefit him greatly. But I think just a steady performance and getting back in the ring, getting the ring rust off him would be a sensible thing to hope for. But if he wants to go there and think that he can do it, then why not? Why not have the confidence in yourself to do that?
And going on to the show, and you know, or doing a lot of the organisation with Harry, and you know, Soft Mix Association with it, you know, logistically, how hard or how easy have you found organising this show and getting it together? You know, be honest, you can be honest about.
So the first few weeks before, me and Harry, we've got experience in organising shows and stuff ourselves individually. So at first it seemed to be plain sailing, it seemed to be fairly easy, and then it got down to the nitty gritty and it started getting to crunch time, and we really realised how difficult it was. It's like a jigsaw, not even a jigsaw, like a was jig. You seen them? It's like one of them. That's probably the best way to describe it. You have to do it looking in a mirror. It was unbelievable hard work. So it's good, but we've got a lot of sponsors around the table tonight, around the ringside. It would be nice to have a few more people done, but we've got plenty anyway, so hopefully they'll create a bouncing atmosphere later. So I'd say we're happy, but there's definitely room for improvement on it as well, 100%.
Okay. And just one other question, actually. You know, obviously you've done your amateurs, shows, etc. You know, what have you noticed the difference between the amateur shows to the pro shows? You've noticed this being the biggest difficult part?
Well, it's, to be fair, all the things that would be transferable, would be easier to deal with, that I thought in my mind going into it, are actually the more difficult tasks. For example, I thought dealing with the fighters would be awesome, because they're all going to want to fight, but it's all about fighting the opponent that's right for them and finding an opponent that wants to fight them as well. So nothing, not taking away from the fighters, but they all want, they're all looking for sort of different, they're all looking for something that suits them individually, and putting that together is very difficult to do. That was one of the things I struggled with the most, both me and Harry.
Okay, and actually, this is the last question because as I've got you for 5 minutes. So if obviously this becomes a success, which it will be because it looks amazing, etc. You and Harry have done a great job by getting this all together. Would you do a couple more? Would you do 2 or 3 more? How many would you realistically aim with the backing of Dennis Hobson, Fight Academy and FightZone? How many ideally would you like to do a year?
Between me and Harry, we've definitely spoke about doing another one this year. But obviously that's just a foundation. We've got a lot of lessons that have been learnt from this one. Obviously some from good experiences, some from bad experiences. So we'll be able to put that into another show this year, and then hopefully build on to 2 or 3 in Hull a year. Just a platform for the local fighters, because even if we had a show that doesn't go as well as we'd have hoped tonight, it could still go well, and then it still provides a platform to people on which to build on, which is the most important.
Yeah, and I guess it's just giving kids and local talent, youngsters a chance to get on these small hall shows, because let's be honest, small hall shows and FightZone coming into the fold, they're putting the big in to small shows, so that's important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like the best way to relate it to is grassroots in football. It's like grassroots shows where they're small halls, and I mean, I know it's good for the boxers in terms of going to Saudi and earning lots of money in that, but it's taking away opportunities from the fighters that are on the smaller hall shows that would usually be on the support card. There's no support card now, there's no platform for people to, there is still platforms for them to show it, but it's taking away the bigger platforms. So we've got to, if it was, for example, grassroots is plant the seeds again and then regrow it from the bottom.
Yeah. Right, well, good luck with everything tonight, Steve, and appreciate it. Thank you. Cheers.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the ring for the second half of this show here at the Doubletree in Hull. Mr. Dennis Hobson and Fight Academy proudly bring you this second half of boxing. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for your boxer making his way to the blue corner. Give it up for Jake Osgood. And ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring, please give it up for Liam McMillan. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is bout number 3, scheduled for 4 rounds of 3 minutes in the welterweight division. Your sponsor, Body Boost Clinic. This contest is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, and your area representatives are Mr. Alan Ulster and Mr. Ian Cragg. Your timekeeper, Mr. Chris Hancock, and your referee in the ring, A-Star, Mr. Michael Alexander. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your boxers, and firstly boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the red shorts, making his 68th appearance in the ring, hailing from Carlisle, give it up for Jake Osgood. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent across the ring, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the white shorts and gold. Weighing in at 10 stone, 4 pound, 1 ounce, hailing from the city of Hull with a professional record of 2 wins from 2 fights. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Liam McMillan!
Right, lads, you both know the rules, so let's just have a good, clean fight, okay? Both of them have to defend yourselves at all times, all right?
And welcome back to FightZone Comms with myself and Tommy Frank. We got Liam McMillan via Jake Osgood. Hopefully, Liam McMillan may well go 3-0 after this, but we'll see. We're against an experienced Jake Osgood. Tommy.
Yeah, very, very experienced. You know, one of Britain's best journeymen, really. I mean, you see him week in and week out. But you know, McMillan started well. You know, he's got quite a good upright style. You know, a bit of a amateur style. You know, that's what it's like a textbook style. And he's landing some good shots early here.
Yes, he's looking to put it on him. He's looking to establish his authority in this fight. Again, lead hand down low then, but he soon put it up then.
Yeah, he's landing some good shots here.
Some great shots. He's unloading,
He's putting them together well, you know, from head down to the body.
Yeah. So Liam currently from Hull. This is in front of his Hull hometown. Got a lot of support here. And you can hear him. Nice 1-2 downstairs by McMillan. Let's call him Macca. He says on his shorts.
That's right, you know, I think it's his first fight of the year, this as well, so he'll be wanting to get 2025 off to winning ways. Something's just happened with his arm there.
So excited up in his arm.
I think that was when he threw a shot, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, he's waving it off. No way.
That's unfortunate.
This is unfortunate.
That really is unfortunate.
Waving it off.
I was literally just saying I wanted to get 2025 to a good start.
It would appear that Liam McMillan's hurt his shoulder, pulled his shoulder. It could be a dislocation.
Yeah, I mean, on first glances, I mean, that's what it looks like. And I mean, Michael Alexander were obviously very fast.
Straight away out.
Straight away, and obviously he's the closest person to him.
I think he dislocates his shoulder.
Yeah, it looks like that. I'm good.
He's in pain. He's in absolute agony. Oh my gosh, I've never seen this. It might be the way the doctor has to pop it back in. I'm actually, for once, I mean, I can talk a lot, but Tommy, I'm actually don't know what to say for this.
Yeah,
once.
I mean, if I'm completely honest with you, mate, I mean, I've hurt my shoulder in a fight before. You know, the first fight with the Mexican Guaneros, I tore my rotator cuff in the third round, but obviously this seems a little bit worse straight off than that. I mean, obviously it's just. I'd like
to see if comms, the guys at home, or the comms the studios, can they go back and see the replay of this and what actually happened? It seemed to appeared he come in and out, and I think when he released the shot, I think it maybe overreached. I don't know.
I mean, that's what it looked like for me. I mean, I looked down for a split second, so I weren't doing the job properly then. I mean, I didn't quite see it, but I think it were from when he threw a left hand.
I'll see if the guys at the back there. Here we go. So we're just seeing him.
Yeah, I think it was that first. I think it was the straight left. I think it was the straight backhand. What he threw.
It just is a delayed reaction. So.
I think it was the first shot he threw, and if I saw it right, I think it landed on Jake's gloves, and it must have just twinged a little bit. Whether that actually popped out his shoulder blade.
Absolutely shame. Let's have another look at it. So it's coming in. Bang! Now you go. See that right left hand. The backhand.
So, ladies and gentlemen, man number 3,
that was
please
very
show
unfortunate.
For both boxers.
Let's just see.
Ladies,
let's get the official announcement.
The opponent in no position to continue. Your referee, Mr. Michael Alexander, awards the contest by technical knockout to your winner, Jake Osgood.
Tommy, this is very unfortunate for McMillan. I mean, I'm sure, look, he's with the medical professionals at the minute. Jake Osgood, he had the win, he got the win. I'm just, I mean, we'll know more information later, I'm sure. The medics are with him. And yeah, I just think it was that first backhand. I mean, I'm sure we'll see it again in a minute, but he's with the... I mean, he was unloading and he was doing well. That's that backhand there when the gloves sort of pivoted off of the shoulder. That's where I think it happened.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, obviously, it's the first round. I mean, I suppose it all depends on if you've had a good warm-up, you know, back in them changing rooms. You know, you need to make sure that, you know, you're having a good warm-up, you know. I mean, that might have been the case, that it might have just been a freak accident. You don't often see things like this in a boxing ring, but it's sport, it does happen, unfortunately.
I would have thought, Tommy, when he gets himself right, he'll have to rematch Jake Osgood for that.
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, main thing for McMillan is, you know, just getting himself right and obviously recovering 100%. But, you know, having injuries, you know, in any sport, it's obviously not a good thing. You know, so all the best to him in his recovery.
Just want just a big shout out for our sponsors, JJ Crump and Son, Birch and Vara, obviously association of the show tonight alongside with Humber, Boxing Network, Calum Scott, JJ Crump and Birch and Vara, very, very big supporters of FightZone shows, so shout out to them. But yeah, no, going back to that, our thoughts are with Liam. I'm sure he'll be okay. He's with the right people, and it's just a freak accident. It could have happened in sparring, I guess, Tommy.
Yeah, 100%, and you know that's the one thing. I mean, this obviously is a combat sport. You know, you're in there, you're both throwing punches. You know, you can crack heads, you can get caught with elbows, and a lot of the time, you know, it's bone on bone. And you know, like you see a lot of, you know, injuries sometimes like this in training. I mean, like you just said, Mac, that could have very easily happened during sparring in training. Unfortunately, it happened during the first round of his fight. Very unfortunate that.
Obviously, they're still going through their warming up routine, so we're going to be maybe 5-10 minutes for the next bout. 2 more bouts spring to you this evening. Please hold on, and we will be back with you in the ring shortly. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, just while we're waiting for the boxers to prepare, just a quick shout out once again to our sponsors this evening. Obviously, these shows cannot go ahead without how important our sponsors are. So, quick shout out to our headline sponsors, White and Clayton Recruitment and Calum Scott. Our corporate sponsors, JBA Calibration, Tigers Removals, LPE, and LJ Sapphire Chalets. Our bout sponsors, A to B Travel, Body Boost, TBS. We got Mads, and then we got Yankee Diner. And then our weigh-in sponsors, Boothbury Park Nutrition. So massive respect to these guys. Please use them where you can. Once again, our shows cannot go ahead without the support of loyal sponsors. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the ring and we are ready to box. So, bout number 4, making her way to the ring. Give it up for Amy Greatorex. And ladies and gentlemen, making her way to the red corner, please give it up for Sharon Dhesi. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is fight number 4. It's a contest scheduled of 4 rounds of 2 minutes in the super lightweight division. This contest is sponsored by TBS, the best solution. This contest is also sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control and your area representatives, Mr. Alan Ulster and Mr. Ian Cragg. Your timekeeper, Mr. Chris Hancock, and your referee at the bell, Mr. Mark Downing. So, ladies and gentlemen, introducing your blue corner and wearing the black, gold and purple, weighing in at 9 stone, 12 pound, 4 ounces, hailing from Chesterfield with a professional record of 1 win, 11 losses. Give it up for Amy Greatorex. And ladies and gentlemen, across the ring, her opponent boxing out of the red corner. We're in the all black with pink. Weighing in at 9 stone, 13 pounds, 3 ounces. Making her professional debut. Hailing from Hull in Yorkshire, give it up for Sharon Dhesi.
Right, you both know the rules. Want a good clean fight, listen to my instructions and make sure you defend yourself at all times. Touch gloves, back your corners.
And welcome back at Fight Zone. On comms with me is Super Tommy Brank. We're in association with our sponsors TBS, JJ Crump and Bertram Vara. Anyone else missed? Apologies.
Wow.
But Sharon, debutant, looking to get straight back out there and a good looking to do swinging.
He's really swinging here. The ladies are getting
she's
straight
not messing about, Sharon, for a debut, Tommy.
No, she's not. No, she's not.
Means
she's,
business.
Yeah, she's just getting straight down to business, letting big shots go. And I mean, you know, this is what the ladies do. I mean, you've only got 2-minute rounds, don't forget, with the ladies, so you see a lot of action. Obviously, they know that they're condensed, and they're letting them shots go here now.
She's not messing about. She looks like she's in a hurry to get out of it.
yeah. She must want to watch them on telly tonight or something like that.
You know, is it past Coronation Street? What's happening? You know what I mean? Good shots. She's landing, Sharon here.
You know, I think Greatorex needs to use her experience. I mean, obviously, you know, Dhesi, this is a debut tonight, a big night. Greatorex needs to use her experience, just weather this early storm, set on down, and you know, find a way through this fight here.
Yes, I think Sharon, she got a massive support tonight with the Sikh community coming out to support Sharon. So thank you everyone to come and support Sharon on her debut. I mean, she's got a good amateur record of 4 wins and 5 losses, and you know, it's decent as amateur. And as I say that, she's landing again with not much of a reply back by Amy. And again, I could see this being a stoppage if we're not careful.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Dhesi, you know, just sharpen up her defence a little bit. You know, it's all right letting your hands go, but you have got to think about what is coming back as well. But obviously, this is a pro debut tonight, a very important night, big night for her. She's going to be nervous, she's going to have that nervous energy, but a very good first round there. Good
round by Sharon. I mean, Sharon is actually on a debut. She hasn't actually got her coach who normally coaches amateur because his license hasn't popped through by the British board yet. You know, so it's still waiting for it. So she's actually got a different trainer in the corner tonight who she normally trains her. So that's sort of foreign to yourself, isn't it, Tommy? And learning curve, really. Someone else is telling you what to do.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you're not in there with the coach that's been with you all the way through your training camp, and so that could have a little effect. But you know, at the end of the day, she'll have done all the hard training rounds, you know, in that gym. Once you're in that ring, a ring's a ring, and an opponent's an opponent, and she's straight down to business.
Yeah, but yeah, as we go to the second bout, round, excuse my words. Let's see what Sharon produces against Amy Greatorex. She's looking to establish her authority, but she got caught there. That exchange. Nice shots by Sharon.
You see, Greatorex last box November last year as well, so she might just have a little bit of that ring rust as well. So, like I said, I mean, the sooner she can settle down into this fight, the better, really.
Yeah, and it is important. I mean, nice 2 double jabs, triple jab by Sharon.
You see, that's what I'd like Dhesi to start doing more. Get on that jab, settle down a little bit, pick your shots, and then you can let your hands go after you've picked, you know, a few shots. That's a good jab.
Nice. So I think this is just calming down the waters a little bit, and it's just caught in catching Amy again.
You see, I just think Greatorex she's there to be it, you know, and again, I mean, she's
hands are down.
Yeah, you know, she's 38, she's had a few fights, you know, so I mean, she is experienced. She's got a very experienced cornerman, a coach, Robert Riley from Sheffield there as well.
Yeah.
I think, you know, she just needs to, you know, tie her up a little bit, slow Dhesi down.
Yeah. It's interesting because nice double shot by Dhesi again.
Some big shots landing. Yeah. I mean, you can hear him at ringside, you know, with
she's
the
got
sound.
some pop in them. I think she would be a nightmare for a lot in this division, you know, Tommy.
I mean, she's definitely got a very entertaining style.
Yeah. Oh, nice hook. I like that. I can see referee jumping in here.
Greatorex, she's getting caught here, and to be honest, I'm not really happy with where her hands are. I think her hands definitely need to be higher.
Yeah. She's beating to her every punch. That's 2 rounds. You can say that's 2. Well, beating around. You know what I mean? Really, if I'm honest.
Definitely. You know, own Dhesi. You know, them last 2 rounds. You know, I think she's boxing well. She needs to keep doing what she's doing. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if she comes out in these last 2 rounds and really ups the pace. She's got a good following. She's got a good crowd here tonight. You know, and in a smaller venue like this, you know, hearing the roar of the crowd, it really does spur you on to let your hands go. So I won't be surprised if Dhesi comes out, you know, swinging yet again.
Do you think, Tommy, because they're fighting 2 minutes, they have to show a little bit more quicker than us, the guys are doing 3 minutes?
I think so. I think that's why you get some absolutely fantastic women's fights. You know, they've only got 2 minutes. You know, I know it sounds daft. There's a big difference between 2 minutes and 3 minutes in the pacing of a round.
I guess you're fighting 4 minutes less as well.
Yeah, 100%.
And so we're approaching round number 3 as we. Sharon's means business, Dhesi, so far. Nice.
You see that little step out of range there from Dhesi. You know, she's got some really good footwork. She's bouncing.
Yeah. It's like changing tactics, Dhesi. Instead of throwing and looking to do a shootout, she's just waiting for Amy seeing what she's doing.
Yeah,
so it's a nice
right.
change to tactic, this.
Yeah, you know, I think she's slowed down, she's settled down, she's got rid of them early nerves, and you know, she's really starting to think about what she's doing now. Yeah, landing some big shots here. Yeah.
I feel the stoppage is there if she wants it.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I think it's probably just a matter of time. I just love Greatorex to just cover up.
Looking,
yeah, I'd love her to cover up a little bit more, or you know, even just tie Dhesi up. You know, break the rhythm.
Yeah, tie her up and walk them to the centre. That's the trick I do. Yeah, if I'm on the ropes, I just walk to the centre. It just gives me that little time.
That's it. You've got to have these little tricks as a pro. You know, especially if you're in the away corner.
Oh God. Nice hook and straight hand by Dhesi, and again Dhesi's looking to establish authority further. Referee's having a good look at Amy. Greatorex. Nice jab by Dhesi again.
See, everything's going to come from that jab, and everything is coming off of that jab from Dhesi.
I feel the nerves are settled by Dhesi a little bit now.
Yeah, definitely. You know, she's eased her way in. Yeah. she's got a nice rhythm to her work now. Another good round for Dhesi.
Yeah, Amy Greatorex is looking a little bit unsteady on feet where she was going back to the corner. It looks like Sharon Dhesi is just breezing through. She isn't breathing hard. It's just like she's gone out for a run and just came back in.
Yeah, that's right. You know, and I mean, you know, Greatorex, she's had an odd night's work on her hands tonight. You know, obviously it's Dhesi's debut. She's come out. You know, she's hyped up. The crowd are behind her. Yeah, so you know, a great performance so far. It really is. I'd like her to see in this last round work off that jab, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if she really puts the foot down.
Yeah. Let's see what Sharon does in this fourth round. See if she does go for a stoppage. I think the crowd are looking and want the stoppage, so let's see if she gives the crowd what they want. So Sharon taking straight centre of the ring. Nice jab. You can hear the crowd chatter. Yep. Good knockdown. What a knockdown. That nearly landed on Tommy's lap
yes, there. It did.
Good 1-2 by Sharon Dhesi. I mean, it's a marvellous.
I mean, I think Dhesi's just going to jump straight on her now, to be honest. You know,
she needs to.
Yeah, you know, the crowd's behind her. She's going to put them together. To be honest, I think referee needs to have a little look here, to be honest with you. If not Robert Riley, to be honest.
And Dhesi's looking to unload. Crowd's getting behind her. They're encouraging her to get a stoppage here. And another right hand by Dhesi. And Dhesi is...
Yeah, I'd like to get... No,
the referee's got to jump in here, surely.
She's taking
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. What a win. Well done, Sharon Dhesi. That was only going to happen, I think. It was there. It was a good stoppage, and I think referee's done the right thing there, Tommy, don't you think?
I think so. You know, I think Dhesi were very sharp. I mean, that's... I mean, you won't wish for a better debut there, but I just want to point out what a tough girl Amy Greatorex is. You know, she took some hard shots there.
I agree.
Credit to her, but yeah, good stoppage by referee there.
We're just looking at it as a ceremonial dance, so she's just got the win by Dhesi. It's a traditional dance, bongos and in the ring, and
you fancy getting on them bongos, Max, or what?
No, not really. I'll leave you to that for you, Tom. They're about the same height as you, those bongos.
Yeah,
anyway.
That's right, mate. Yeah, no.
So, ladies and gentlemen, before I announce the result, a bit of history has been made tonight, because Sharon goes into the history books tonight as the first female Sikh professional boxer. So, massive round of applause. And you've all witnessed it, so fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, the contest was stopped in 57 seconds of round number 4. Your winner by technical knockout. Give it up for Sharon Dhesi.
Welcome to FightZone TV. My name's Max Jenkins. I'm here joined by Calum Scott.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just an announcement for Tricky Trevor's fan club. If you arrived on the coach for Trevor, then the coach will be leaving in 14 minutes. So at 20 to 10, your coach will be leaving. So you want to make your way to your coach now. Thank you.
I'm joined by Sharon. That was, what a debut that was. You look like you were in a bit of a hurry in the first round to get her out of there. So what was the key thing you wanted to do tonight?
Just put on a dominant performance really. I had barely any time to warm up, everything was a rush, but do you know what, I went in there and I did it. I knew I wanted to stop her and I did it.
Yeah. And to be fair, Sharon, you know, you came out, you came blistering. I mean, Amy Greatorex, she is not a mug, she is a very good, you know, level, you know, journeywoman. She's been around the block, you know. It was interesting to see the sort of performance you did. What were the key fundamentals you worked on your debut, especially with the support you got tonight?
The main thing was to just get it out there and enjoy it. She had a lot of experience, but so do I. It was my first time, but I put on a banger, so yeah.
I just want to bring Aisha up here into this. What was the key things you wanted Sharon to work on in this fight, you know what I'm saying, and see from her?
As she stated in the pre-fight interview, the sick jab that she's got, and she used that and capitalised on it brilliantly. She could have done even more in there tonight, but she did the job a bit later than.
I mean, to be honest, you know, she looked like a hurry to get out there, and you see a lot of debuts are very nervous. She looked like she was coasting through that.
Yeah, like I say, she's been in the big light. She's been all over the world boxing. No one would touch her locally, so we had to go out there and, you know, find them box cups elsewhere around the world, and she's boxed some of the best people out there, so yeah, she's no stranger to being in the big lights. And credit to J-Rock, she's a fantastic, durable fighter, and Sharon just proved tonight what she's got. She's gunning and she wants big things, and she starts with a bang.
And just going back to you, Sharon, you've just made history tonight being the first Sikh boxer. You know, you've got a great supporter. How does that make you feel?
Oh, it makes it, just look at them all, they're all here for me, I can't believe it. I was so excited to be under the lights. I've never had a turnout like this, so it was great, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to bring in Dennis here. Dennis, you know, you've got a habit of making history, making, you know, history fights. It's a proven track record. Again, bringing Sharon onto the show, you've made history just because it's a Sikh boxer and the support, you know. You keep doing it. How do you keep doing it, Dennis?
Listen, you've got to have the commodity. I've known Isham a long time. Sean's done a fantastic job. That's the best woman debut I've ever seen, and maybe the men and women debut. That were quality. That there were plenty of spike. There were quality. She mixed it up. She's got everything. She will win. I'm telling you now. And especially if she says working with me and Isham and Sean, I promise you she'll win a world title here in Hull.
And I'm sorry, Calum, I just want to bring you here on this, yeah, and sorry to bother you. This is our homegrown fighter, Hull fighter, you know, I mean, what do you think of that? But, you know,
like I said, I don't have much boxing experience or knowledge, but as soon as I saw a fight, I was just like, oh my, I was stood up. The first fighter I've stood up for, I mean, it was unbelievable, straight off the bat, in there. I'm just so happy for her, so happy for what she's achieved, and just want to see her continue to flourish.
Brilliant. And you know, look, you didn't really struggle through there, Sharon. Are you looking to get out pretty soon? Is that the goal? Do you want to get out fairly quickly, or do you want time to reflect? What are you thinking now?
Whatever's next. Whatever's next. That's it. Come my way. That's it.
Another homecoming show?
Yeah, brilliant. Anything. Yeah.
Okay. Well done on your win. I'll let you celebrate, and well done, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
We move on to fight number 5. Making his way to the ring, please give it up for Peter Brodsky. And ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the red corner, give it up for Harvey Lambert. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is fight number 5. It's scheduled for 6 rounds of 3 minutes in the super welterweight division. It's sponsored by A2B Travel, and the contest is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Your area representatives, Mr. Alan Ulster and Mr. Ian Cragg. Your timekeeper, Mr. Chris Hancock, and your referee, Mr. Mark Downing. So, ladies and gentlemen, firstly, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the white and gold shorts, weighing in at 10 stone, 7 pound, 5 ounces, hailing from Chodov, Czech Republic, with a professional record of 4 wins, 5 losses. Give it up for Peter Brodsky! And ladies and gentlemen, across the ring, his opponent, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the black shorts, weighing in at 10 stone, 11 pounds, 6 ounces. with a professional record of 4 wins, 1 by knockout. Fighting out of Hull in Yorkshire, give it up for Harvey Lambert.
Right, you both know the rules. Make sure you keep it clean. Listen to my instructions and make sure you defend yourselves at all times. Touch gloves over to your corners.
And welcome back to us at Fight Zone, hosted by myself, Max Jenkins, and Tommy Frank. Oh, sorry, shall I say Super Tommy Frank?
I used to be Super.
We've got this final, the main event now. Harvey Lambert v Peter.
Yeah. Tall, Ranger, slick, southpaw, very, very good amateur. Harvey Lambert were, and I'm sure he's going to show some class here tonight. I mean, Peter Brodsky, you know, he's got 4 wins, and 3 of them wins have been by knockout. So obviously, he must be able to punch a little bit. But we'll see how he does here.
I think just working each other out. You know, Harvey's not being too desperate. It's nice exchange there. Osgood, nice body shot by Lambert.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think that's the shot what Harvey Lambert's gonna look to land here. You know, he's gonna set him up with that lead hand. He's gonna throw that looping left up to the body.
Oh, nice exchange by Harvey Lambert, and Harvey Lambert's looking to unload a little bit. He's starting to pick him.
Yeah, do you know what? This is what you want to see from a young professional. You know, he's taking his time, he's easing
He's not
into
rushing,
it.
He's picking shots, isn't he?
He's not rushing, you know. He looks that relaxed. He could be sat on settee at home.
Yeah. He's looking quite slick, nice body shot.
Yeah, that's the shot. I think that's what he's going to try and set Brodsky up with here.
He's just beating him to every punch, Harvey Lambert. He's just toying with it. It looks like he's not getting out of first gear, Lambert, at the minute.
Yeah, you know, but this is good. I mean, obviously, this kid's going to be tough. And, you know, this is going to be, again, a good chance for Lambert to practice what he's been working on in the gym. Good shot there, good backhand.
I like his feet, Lambert. He's just in and out. He doesn't get involved. He doesn't want to get involved and stay in that. Stays just out of range, doesn't he?
That's right. Again, and you know, that was a good shot. Again, you're talking millimetres. I mean, Harvey Lambert, he can probably stay. He can probably stay where he is, keep his feet where he is, just lean back, and he's going to be out of range because he's tall. His ranger, his southpaw. He's got that style.
Yes. Good shot by Lambert again. Good shot again by Lambert. Lambert's beaten to every punch. Lambert's just been inactive. This is his first fight for a while. In front of a good crowd in Hull here.
Yeah, I mean, he's had more than a year out now, Lambert, you know, so again, he's going to want to, you know, shut that rust off, but I mean, he looks comfy. I mean, I think he's going to see this round out. He's finding his range, and he'll probably go through the gears as this fight goes on.
Good shot. And now Lambert just got caught there, so he has to be wary of this opponent and not get too confident. Nice picking shots by us. That's a good round by Harvey Lambert there.
Yeah, very good round. You know, I thought he boxed well, nice and relaxed, finding that range, and again, you know, setting the body shot up as well. You know, with that long range of southpaw style that he's got, you know, very, very slick. But, you know, he's got to keep his wits about him. You know, Peter Brodsky, he's going to be tough, and I think he'll probably be here all night. You know, he's from Czech Republic, you know. You know, but definitely, you know, obviously he's more experienced than Lambert. So he's got to keep his wits about him.
Yeah, look, I mean, southpaws are always... They're not normal, are they, Tommy? I mean, I've been against them twice, and I don't like them. It's just everything's opposite, everything's mirrored, takes your jab away, and this is what I think this Brodsky's trying to deal with and get a grips of. Although he got caught at the end of the round, Lambert, but he's he's got to be wary of Brodsky against Lambert here.
Again, you know, you talk about southpaws. I mean, I've spent so many years in Sheffield Boxing Centre sparring with Keenan Wainwright. You know, what a southpaw he was, what a fighter, and I know all about southpaws, you know, sparring with Keenan. So, Yeah, a very, very slick style. You know, Brodsky's got a tough night's work on his hands here.
I just feel Lambert at any time can just switch there. Brodsky, that was a bit weird. That, yeah. Nice shot by Brodsky back at Lambert. So he's got to be wary, Lambert here.
He has. I mean, he's lunging in quite unorthodox here, Brodsky. So Lambert has got to be wary. He just, he don't want to get caught with out stupid. He needs to keep them hands up, nice and sharp. Keep doing what he's doing and get behind that.
Nice shot.
Lovely shot to body that way.
Put some whip on that, but then he got caught back there, Lambert. He's not getting his own way here. But I do think this is down to ring rust.
I think so, yeah. This is only its second round, you know what I mean? So again, he'll be checking off that ring rust. I'd like to see if I'd like to feel, Brodsky's punch as well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like to feel him myself, but I'm interested to see if he can dig, because he's got 3 knockouts out of 4 wins,
Yes.
I wonder if Lambert's going to be a little bit wary. That were a lovely backhand.
Yeah, as Lambert just trying to land again. Lambert's just trying to establish his... It's a game of chess here. It was a little bit more violent, isn't it, in the middle here?
Yeah, he's keeping centre at ring now, Lambert,
Yeah.
And again, just learning them little pro tricks. See that shoulder just nudging Brodsky back. That's what you want to see, a young pro learning his craft.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what Lambert's doing here. Nice backhand by Lambert. I feel Lambert's just in first or second gear. He's not going to the well, is he, at the minute?
He's not. I mean, he's doing what he needs to do. He's throwing the shots. He's being busy, and he's figuring him out on the job. He's definitely not being lazy, which he can't afford to be.
Nice backhand, but again by Lambert. He's really picking his shots, Lambert, and he's tucking up well in these exchanges.
Good shot to body by Lambert there. I'm really impressed with his shot selection here, and I think Harvey Lambert won't go through the gears in this fight, but he's in there with a tough man and a shorter man as well, which can be difficult if you're a tall range southpaw.
Oh, just missed a shot, Brodsky, in that last 10 seconds from the second round. I mean, I like to think nice, good exchange again. Nice double jab at the end by Lambert. I like to think Lambert's 2 rounds up now.
Yeah, I'd say so, comfortably. I mean, he's standing there in the corner with Mike Gibbons, who's a good coach from home. I actually boxed his son as an amateur, Ryan, and that's Ryan's older or younger brother, maybe Liam Gibbons in the corner. So a very good, a very good coach there. Both of them from home. So he's in good hands. Harvey Lambert is.
Just watching this exchange here, really good by Lambert. I mean, Lambert, he seems that he's just cruising. He's not even sitting down on a stool. He's just... So why do boxers do that? I mean, you always sat down on a stool, Tommy, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's different, but I suppose when you're sparring, you don't sit down in between rounds, do you? So I suppose it does make sense, but I just think, especially as you step up the rounds to 10 and 12 rounds, you could use every bit of rest that you can.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. He's just waiting for... He's just waiting to counter or make a move, Brodsky, and Harvey's just pipping back at him.
Yeah,
every time.
You see, Lambert's doing the right thing. He's feinting with his feet as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he can literally stand where he is, just lean back, and he's out of range. That's the sort of range he's got. And that's what he's trying to do now. You see, he's trying to get him
involved, isn't he?
Yeah. You see, he's throwing a jab, he's leaning back, he's making him miss, and then he's making him pay his countering.
Yeah. It's quite clever, actually, by Lambert,
Well, that comes from the amateur pedigree, national champion, boxed for England. A really good fighter, Harvey Lambert is, really good fighter. I'm impressed so far.
You see people who are 4-0 and they're not this confident.
Yeah, and again, I think that does come from his amateur background. Obviously amateur and professional boxing, it is different, but he was a good amateur for a reason. He's just a good fighter, and he oozes class. Sorry. and that's what you're seeing here. But he just needs to keep his wits about him. Brodsky's going to be here all night, I think.
I think so.
What a tough man. That were a brilliant right up from Lambert there.
Yeah.
That caught Brodsky flush, that did.
Nice shots.
Yeah, I think he
Nice
sensed
shots.
that he's hurting now, and I think
He's looking to unload now.
He's gone down to body, yeah. Yeah, he's landing some big shots here. I think he just needs to be a bit careful. He doesn't need to rush in and smother his work.
No.
He's obviously hurting.
Yeah, it looks like he's hurt a little bit, Brodsky. Harvey, I feel the stoppage is there if he could go for it, but he's been taking his time, Lambert, and that's quite good, because sometimes you see him unload and unleash, and he's not doing that. He's just being clever with it.
It's really good to see, because a young pro right now, they could have been, letting their hands go a little bit too much, trying to rush the work, trying to get him out of there because they've hurt him. He's gone back to drawing board. He's gone back to what got him, that landed the shot that actually hurt Brodsky, which is good to see. Brilliant.
Just approaching the last 30 odd seconds of this round. Harvey's just using his weight a little bit and just trying to lean on him, wear him out. Brodsky. Nice body shot again by Lambert and went up top. I like that.
Yeah, that was good, right?
Good shot again by Lambert. 1-2 down the pipe by...
straight down the pipe. A little bit over that backhand, that was good.
Yeah. Just waiting for him to make a move. Another good round by Lambert. Would you like to see, if you're obviously Lambert's coach, would you like to see him say, right, you've gone through gear 1, gear 2, or saw a glimmer of maybe gear 3, I want you to see really turn it on now, put the pressure on. Would you like to see that?
I probably would, yeah. Like I said, he definitely hurt Brodsky in that last round. And then he went down to body, which is good to see when he had him on the ropes there. You can just see now from that replay. But yeah, I think Harvey Lambert can go through the gears now. He needs to be careful. Keep his wits about him. As I've said before, not get too carried away, because Peter Brodsky is one tough man. I can tell you that now.
Yeah, I'm looking at Brodsky. He's breathing quite heavily, and when I like to look at corners and see their reactions and the dialogue. Round 4. Let's see what Harvey Lambert does.
You see, when you're in there with someone like Harvey Lambert, as you can see now, he's studying you, and that just saps your energy. So it's not just the physical shots what you're getting caught with, it's the mental kind of warfare. That's what drains you as well. So, Brodsky's going to be going through that as well.
It's quite entertaining, Harvey Lambert, if you look at him, isn't he? There's mannerisms and what he does. He is entertaining, I say.
He is, and I'm going to, really look forward to watching him develop as a fighter. I think, as he goes through the gears as a professional, starts fighting better opposition, I think that's going to bring the best out of him as well. So, very exciting for Harvey Lambert.
Just briefly before that body shot, he did get caught, Harvey Lambert, by 1-2 by Brodsky, but, it happens. I'm sure he'll be paid in full back in a minute.
That's right. Well, as they say, you don't go in the shower without getting wet, do you?
No,
that's
you don't.
Game,
you can't go swimming without getting wet. That's true. You know that from anyone, Tommy.
I do.
Good shot by Brodsky. Brodsky's looking just to tie him up, pull him back to the ropes, and he's struggling. The expressions of Brodsky a little bit now. I just feel a nice double shot by Lambert. He's looking to. He's got a cut on the back of his head, Brodsky. See that cut?
Yeah, I wonder if that were from
maybe an
elbow. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Max. Yeah. I don't think it'll have too much of cause any problems in this last round though. That it's on back of head, innit? It is bleeding quite a lot though, to be fair.
Yeah, it is bleeding quite a bit.
I feel
Lambert can stop him. It's there if he wants it.
Yeah, you know, I think he can up them gears, which in this last minute he probably will. But I mean, it's been a brilliant fight back, you know, for Lambert after more than a year. I think he'll be very happy with this. I think his team will as well.
Good body shot by Lambert again. He's a variety, and again.
Yeah, credit to Bro. He's just a tough man, innit? You know,
he's tough
still,
lad, isn't he? Yeah.
He's got a cut on back of his head. He's still swinging. What a tough man. Credit to him.
Yeah. Clutman's got a bit of a job to do in this next minute or so. Last 10 seconds. Nice.
Oh, what a
body
shot. What a shot.
No. Referee's counting it as a low blow.
It looked like a good body shot from
where
where I am.
I thought it was a body shot. I'd like to see the replay of that.
I might be wrong, but that looked like a lovely body shot.
If the comms, the guys and comms in the offices, let's go back to the body shot. That'd be brilliant. The Cutman's got a lot to do in Brodsky's corner now. See, he's blowing quite hard. Let's see if we can get the replay of that body shot of that supposedly knockdown. Here we go. So he comes in. Yeah, maybe you could argue. Maybe it's like a Usyk and Dubois thing, isn't it?
Yeah. To be honest, we are looking back on that now. I think that we're low. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Quite bleeding quite heavily. Yeah, I thought I was a bit tad low.
That's low.
yeah. Didn't look from it when you're at this angle. You can't see so much. You think it's just about right.
It's a good job I'm not a referee, or so I might have counted that as a knockdown.
I would have given a count. Yeah. Brodsky's not giving up. He's staying in there. He's hanging in there.
He is. Yeah. Tough man. I think he's going to be there all night. This last couple of rounds for Lambert, he's going to want to up the pressure, keep doing what he's doing, but just up that pressure a little bit and look for them little gaps. That's what he wants.
Yeah.
It's a good jab by Lambert.
Jab, yeah. He's looking to establish his jab. A nice 1-2 down the pipe.
Yeah, very good 1-2. You see, it's just that range, it's just, that rangy southpaw style of Lambert. Silky smooth he is. Yeah, he's just got to be careful, Brodsky is...
Still dangerous.
Yeah, very dangerous, very unorthodox. He's throwing wild punches, he's like switching stances and then just winging him in.
It's like... he reminds me similar to a fight like Zach Chelly, that sort of type of fighter where he throws everything with intent. Harvey Lambert, there's no real fakes as such.
Good shot.
What a shot. That was definitely a knockdown.
Do you know what? I think he's just been teeing up these body shots, Lambert. He's done well to get up from that.
Yeah.
Fair play to him.
I wonder if Harvey Lambert pours it on. He's there to take.
Yeah, he's going to go straight back down to that body, Harvey Lambert. He's very experienced as an amateur. He knows what to do.
It's gum shields out.
Lambert's going to go straight.
Lambert's going to go straight. Jump on him now. I think so. Still just under a minute left, for Brodsky to survive here. Brodsky looks like he's going to fall on his sword. He's trying still. Brodsky, fair play to him.
Yeah, Brodsky, he needs to tie him up. That's what he's doing. Tie him up, walking back.
And he's making Harvey Lambert work.
He is,
Work for it. He's not rolling over and saying, don't give it to me easy.
And again, this is a little puzzle that Harvey Lambert's got to work out here. He's got him badly to body.
He's trying to.
But again, he don't need to get careless.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shootout now. It's hotting right up. I think the longest this goes on now, Harvey will be a little bit frustrated that he couldn't get another
another one out of that?
Yeah, possibly, but you know that's all learning. That's all learning. Again, I mean, just because he's hurt him to the body a couple of times now, it doesn't take away that, you know, Brodsky is such a tough man. You know, Czech Republic, and you know them guys, they just made of something different. You know, they come over here. You know, they give it their all. You know, I think Lambert, you know, is going to, you know, start back boxing in this last round, and then we'll see how he goes from there.
Do you think now he's just gonna, you know what, I'm gonna pour it on him now?
I think he will, but I think he'll do it in a very controlled manner, to be honest with you. You know, I think he's going to go back to doing what's been working. You know, he's setting up them body shots. So I think you're going to see a good shot selection in this last round.
Right, last round, and we'll see what this brings us. We've had some great action here so far.
See, he's targeting that body, you know, and
Brodsky's just complaining a bit low. He's on the thigh as well.
See, it's that looping kind of left bolo punch to the body what's working for Lambert, and he's setting it up with that long right lever he's got.
Still firing back. I mean, it's quite weird. It's quite weird because Brodsky is all of a sudden, nice shot. He's gone southpaw as well. It shows he's got some confidence, Brodsky, in there.
Yeah, you know, again, he's got a very, you know, unorthodox, tough style.
Yeah.
You know, could be a bit of a nightmare for some fighters.
He's firing back, Brodsky, and fair play to him. He's hanging in there, you know, and he's still dangerous. He's like a hurt animal, but dangerous.
I'd like to see Lambert, you know, go maybe a couple of shots upstairs and then dig them body shots in. That's where he's found his success in this fight. That was a good backhand. You see, because obviously Brodsky's shorter as well, and Lambert's like chopping down with his shots, and it has that extra effect, Max, you know.
Yeah, I think Lambert's just being patient, picking his fight. His shots here. Taking his time.
Oh,
nice shot. These body shots got to hurt.
100%.
I feel he could be here to take if Harvey wants it to take, but he's not being careless.
He's not, and again, that's very good to see from a young prospect. He's not getting carried away. He's sticking to what's working. I mean, he's got a minute left. I mean, whether he can get a stoppage here, I don't know. He just needs to keep doing what he's doing. Tough man, Brodsky is. Tough man. That's a big shot. He's hurting.
He's unloading here, and he's just had 4 down the pipe at him, Brodsky.
I think Lambert's going to put them together here. He's going to have a last little flurry. Yeah, he's hurting.
I think Harvey wants a stoppage. I do think he wants that now.
Yeah, which is natural. Do you know what I mean? He's probably been a long year out of the ring waiting for this.
But then again, it's a professional performance.
Yeah,
so it's not careless. It's professional. Nice body shot.
You know, again, I think you know, Hull has got a rising star here in Harvey Lambert. You know, I'm very, very impressed. You know, I knew he were a good kid before this, but yeah, one like a definite future star, I think.
He's just going to hang on, Brodsky, now to the end. But yeah, no, that's a good performance, Tommy, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very good. I mean, ticked all the boxes apart from getting out of there, but I can't. You know, you can't find fault in that because Brodsky was such a tough man. But had a lot of success, you know, a lot of things to go back to the gym for him to work on there. A really good learning performance and a victorious performance, obviously.
Right, well, we wait for the official announcement. Thank you, Tommy, for joining us on comms tonight. I will do my interview now with Harvey and his team, and we'll hope to see you on the next one, Tommy.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for both boxers. So, ladies and gentlemen, fight number 5, sponsored by A2B Travel. Your judge at ringside, Mr. Michael Alexander, scores the bout 60-52 in favour of your winner and still undefeated, Mr. Harvey Lambert. So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our evening of boxing. I want to say a massive thank you to all of our sponsors, all of our fighters and coaches. A massive thanks to Mr. Dennis Hobson and Fight Academy for putting on yet another fantastic evening of professional boxing. So, massive round of applause.
Can I just say, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first show I've been involved with in Hull, and I want to say congratulations to my dear pal. And my dear pal, where's he gone, Steve? Where's he gone? He's there. Harry Boo, Steve Evans, what a great job they've done, and I hope you've had a great night. And as Frank Sinatra would say, Calum, the best is yet to come.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dennis Hobson. So, ladies and gentlemen, please have a fantastic evening on behalf of Dennis Hobson and Fight Academy. Travel safe, thank you, and good night.
I'm joined by Harvey Lambert. He goes 5-0 in a emphatic win against Peter Brodsky. You've been inactive for over a year outside the ring. How important was it to make a statement and a good performance like as a professional performance, let me add?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, I've been really inactive. As an amateur, I was probably the most active kid you could meet, and then now to come as a pro, I feel like I've done things in reverse. I think I've fled like, you know, I've always thought about being away and stuff and trying to chase these big shows, but honestly, look at this show's massive, you know what I mean? It's in the city centre. I live 3.5 miles away from here, do you know what I mean? Yeah. I've got all my family and friends, and you know, it's massive in the performance tonight. You know, rusty. I mean, I'll be pissed off with myself. I didn't get rid of him, but you know, that's the critic in me. But yeah, you know, like I said, I got a new team, fantastic team around me, and yeah, just activity now, which with Dennis, Harry, and Steve we can, you know, put together. So exciting.
Yeah, just going on to the fight itself, I felt there's times where you were just cruising in gear 1, gear 2. You could have got him out of there. Yeah. Was it a tactic where, you know what, I'm going to take my time, or how was it in the corner?
No, Mike's obviously what he done though is not worth knowing. So, you know, I was listening, and you know, we know how important it was to get the rounds. Don't get me wrong, I'm not one of these kids that say I want the rounds. If I can get rid of him in 10 seconds, I will. But tonight, that wasn't about that. It was, you know, going through it, and you know, at the end of the day, I'm not still, but I've got roots to being an amateur, fast free freeze amateur. So when you're boxing someone that you can hit relatively easily, you know, you want to jump on them and fucking, you think, oh wow, get this kid out of there. But you know, 6 rounds is a long time. I've done 6 rounds once before, so it's yeah, getting them rounds in tonight, which was what it's about.
Yeah. Mike, can I just bring you in here? What was the most important thing for Harvey tonight? What did you want to see him off him the most?
We literally said a 60-54 scorecard, just get the 6 rounds under his belt, settle into his boxing the way he did tonight. He got a bit excited in patches there, and every reason to see he had the kid out. I thought he was going to take him out of there in that 5th round, but he composed himself well. There was a couple of things we'll take back to the gym and work on that, but you know what? I'm bloody proud of this kid here. He's been out the ring 13 months. As he said, he's been inactive. To come back and put a display like that on is really professional, and I can't wait to see him get the opportunities this kid deserves and get on that major stage.
So you're thinking now, where do you want to do with Harvey? Do you want to get him out straight away again? You know, get him on another show, what Harry and Steve and Dennis are doing? Is that something you want to do straight away, or do you want to take your time? What would you like to see for Harvey now?
We want to build on the back of this now. We want to be out as quick as we can as well. So there's a fight for him on there on the 28th of June, again here in Hull at the Connexin Arena. So he'll be out on that. There's another date in September, and I know Dennis has plans here in Hull now in building on that. So we're very, very keen to, you know, look at what dates are available, keep this lad going now. Let's build momentum. He's 27. Let's build that and look for a big 2026 for him.
In there, sorry. I am the type of fighter, touch wood, that takes a lot of punishment in my fights, and the same goes for sparring and in my camps and stuff. So I'll fight every month. I'll fight 2-3 week turnarounds. It don't, not that tolling and taxing, touch wood, you know what I mean? So, you know, I want to fight I'll fight another 6-7 times this year if I can, you know what I mean?
Well, you got a lot of sports tonight. I'm going to let you enjoy your win, guys. So congratulations on the win. Okay. I just want to. I'll just let you go, Harvey. I just want to bring in Dennis. Sorry. So I want to bring in Dennis and Harry. Hold on 1 second. We're a bit of promotion here. Yeah. So I just want to bring in Dennis and Harry. Look, this has been a successful. Where's Steve gone? I'll leave him to mingle, whatever they do. Look, this is a success tonight, gents, and you know it's been in some good bouts. You know, we saw Sharon Dhesi. She made a statement tonight, Sharon Dhesi. You know what I mean? With like, you know, in front of a home crowd. We've just seen Harvey do the same. Only things can get better, don't you think, Dennis?
I've loved it. I know it'd be okay, because Harry's a bit of a overthinker, but he's a very, very professional kid, and totally opposite from his dad, Tony Booth, who just turns up with a PE kit and fights anybody. Harry's a professional, and he's put a great show together with Steve. So what I see in these 2 kids, Steve and Harry, is like, I know what I can build on. Now, you've seen a couple of kids there, Harvey and Shannon. We've got 2 potential champions there. So working with these 2 kids, it's going to be a pleasure for me, and I'm in the game for the journey. I'm in the game for achievement. I'm in the game to win titles and just to create a legacy. Now, these are the new generation. Believe it or not, I'm older than Harry, and I've really enjoyed tonight. And this is the first of many. He's been worried. I know it'd be okay. You knew it'd be okay. But like, this got a better show than I thought it could have been. But I'm not surprised, but I look at what we can go and win. We're going to win titles here. I know I'm sorry for being boring. We'll win titles here, and he has done an amazing job. Steve has done a great job. They've worked their knackers off. Are we allowed to say that?
No, not really. But
all right, then they've worked
parental guidance.
Yeah, okay, they've worked their corners off, and as Frank Sinatra would say, the best is yet to come.
So, I just want to bring in Harry and Steve here. Harry, you know, I know you've been overstressing on this. How do you feel seeing, obviously, the production, the sound, you know, the TV crew? How do you feel now it's all over, and I think it's been a big success? How are you feeling?
The thing is, yeah, you might say I'm overstressing, but the thing is, Hull is a boxing city. Hull has a rich boxing history. There's some stars from Hull. Do you know, the city's crying out for top quality boxing. The likes of Harvey and Sharon coming through. The message is, yeah, I was stressed. I'm surprised I've got any air left, but I'm happy. I'm so happy. But I just want to say to the people of Hull and the people out, the fight fans UK wide, do you know what I mean? You've got to back these fighters before the stars. It's okay, you know, packing out Tottenham Hotspur Stadium 90,000 when they're a star, but when it's really tough for these fighters. We need the backing now, and we need people to vote with their feet. This is amazing, packed out tonight in here. Do you know, the opportunity for this city, this region for boxing? Do you know, we've got to take it, and the fighters have got to take it, and the fight fans.
Honestly, you two are an absolute dream. Me.
Just to nip in there, and I was on Steve's outset on this. Steve, what have you enjoyed and seen? Tonight's more or less over now. What have you enjoyed the most, and what basically what you've created? What have you been proud of?
I'm proud of it from start to finish, from the people attending to the fighters actually fighting. It was nice to see a couple of other fighters in the audience as well coming to watch tonight to see what we're doing, and the appeal hopefully will reach further than the fighters in the ring's audience, and obviously the people that watch on the stream hopefully will tell their friends about it. In the future it'll lay a good platform for us to go forward.
Yeah. Not to put you on the spot, gents, you know, it's obviously it's early days. We just had the first show in Hull for a long time.
It's time, mate. Come on.
When's the next one?
Well, look, Dennis hit the nail on the head earlier. He said we want a permanent fixture list for this region. That's what we want to develop, and we want titles on that fixture list. So we're going to have a chat, we're going to have a sit down, and that fixture list is going to be developed in the next couple of weeks. You know, you've got a big show June, haven't we? But we're going to have a sit down, and this region, you know, best be prepared. While other promoters are turning their backs on the city, you know, Dennis is doubling down, FightZone doubling down, and ready to stay, really.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Wait a minute, I haven't finished yet. This place is a dream for me. I see the potential, and I've got the potential. We're working with these two. I know I keep saying it, we'll produce champions, and Hull, Manchester, Sheffield, Liverpool, Hull's going to be in that bracket. You watch, I promise you, and with these two kids who are a dream to work with, I'm so fortunate to work with these. We've got a great team. I'm enjoying the journey, and I want to thank these two kids, and they keep me looking young, acting young, and guess what? When my legacy's done, they're going to produce champions for us. My CV is going to be the best. Frank Warren, Eddie Earns, window salesman, double glazed window salesman. We're real, and we're bringing boxing back to a proper city, and we're winning titles, not just English, British, Commonwealth. We're going all the way to world.
Right, well, you said it, you've done it now, you've made a rod for your own back. Gents, I want to say well done for tonight. I'll just say safe journey home, and yeah, thank you. Over and out at FightZone.